Hi, welcome back to the World Mind Sports Olympiad 2018 here in London. My name's Steve Rain.
I am Paco de la Banda.
And we're about to get into the blockers tournament here that started a bit ago. I think they're about to start round two. But before we go into that, there's obviously the key information of the Pentamind standings. The Pentamind are the best 5 scores over your week here. So if you come and play lots of different events, you get your scores, and this is the current leaderboard. We have Martin Hobmegi. He's increased his lead to 381 now. He was 350. We've got a junior in second place, which is fantastic to see. He's got 5 scores, 2 in the 90 regions, which is great. You're looking for scores to win the event. You're looking for all your scores to be 90 or above generally by the end of it.
Yeah, I think that George is doing something absolutely great to perform junior gold. But in terms of Pentamind, I mean the global Pentamind, he has 2 very, very good scores with more than 90 points. But at this moment, even if he has 5 scores, 5 good scores, 3 of them are 60 points. So there is no way, or there is close to no way that it is good enough for winning the Pentamind.
Okay, we've got some other people. James Heppel, the defending champion, is in 3rd place at the moment, so well done, James. He's got a great score from Settlers of Catan. His other scores could do with some improvement. I know we've got the leading lady down there is Madly Miram.
Madly, yeah. She has a very good score, for sure, to be a women Pentamind winner, but still not too good or not good enough to become overall.
Okay.
But just before her, Michael Homon took 3 very good scores.
He's the only person with 3 on the list, isn't he? So 3 scores, absolutely great. He's got
absolutely
a few events to go. He actually came second in the Acquire tournament, I believe, joint second. He actually came 3rd on the tiebreak, but he gets joint second in points. So he's going to have another good score to add to that. Ankush Khandelwal, who came second last year, won the Acquire, and these points haven't been put on there. We imagine his score will push him into 2nd place on about 360 or something. So,
but 3 good scores anyway. Andrews, sorry. I was thinking that it was Andrus Kusk.
No. So Andrus has fallen off the bottom. But Andrus is still doing very well. He's a tough person to beat. He's currently playing some poker variant. It's low ball, I believe, 7 card stud low ball. So we're going to go into the blockers tournament in just a bit. What I want to show you before we go into it is, if you haven't played it or been a while since you played it, we're just going to show you a brief video on the rules of the game and how to win. Hi, this is Steve from the Dice Cup, and today I'm going to show you how to play Blokus. It's a game for 2 to 4 players. It's a tile-laying abstract game where you're trying to get as most of your pieces out on the board as you can, and the person with the fewest squares left at the end is the winner. You're going to have, in Blokus, 4 different colours, and you're going to have different combinations of all the ways to arrange 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 squares. For example, here are some Blokus pieces with 5 squares. You can have some with 4 squares, you can have some with 3, some with 2, and one tiny one that has 1, if I can find it in here somewhere. There's the 1 piece. And the rules for playing in Blokus are as follows. Whenever I place a square on the board, a piece on the board, it must be touching a corner of one of your existing pieces. You're going to start off in the very corner, and as you build up, you can build away from the corner of one of your existing pieces. You can go like this, and as long as it will fit on the board, you can keep going. I can play that one over there, I can play that one there, and you're going to be intermixing your pieces with other people's pieces. You're going to take it in turns, each person starting from a corner of the board, until you've placed as many pieces as you can. As soon as you can no longer place a piece, you have to pass, and you'd pass for the remainder of the game. You'd keep going until everyone's placed as many pieces as they can, and you'd at the end count up the squares you have left in your bin of pieces. So this will be worth 5 points at the end. You're trying to finish with as few as points as possible. to see who wins the game. Let me just show you how a board might look after everyone's played as many pieces as they can. So now I've got to a point, I've not played as efficiently as possible, but I've tried to be as quick as I could, where I can't go with any colour that I can see, apart from that single yellow bit which I missed. And that what would happen now is you would score the pieces you have left. So yellow has a 5-piece, a 5-piece and a 4-piece left. Yellow would score 14 points, and you'd score each person separately just to see who won. I imagine yellow or green won because they had more turns, but I'd have to sit there and counting. It looks like yellow's won from what I've got. Green scored 18, yellow scored 14, and blue and red have scored more than that. You play it as much as possible, and you're trying to block other people out of areas. As you can see here, that red and green have that area, red and green have that area, yellow and blue have the majority of this half of the board, but yellow's got a lot further in other people's areas than anyone else has. That's the game of Blocus. It can play 2 to 4 players. With 4 players you have 1 colour each. With 2 players you have 2 colours each. You're starting in opposite corners, and obviously you're trying not to block your own pieces off, but you're trying to stop other people, and you'd add up your collective scores together. And with 3 players it's not as easy. With 3 players you'd have 1 colour each, and you'd take alternate goes with the 4th colour. You always have to play with 4 colours on the board. But that can be a bit unfair on the person, well, it's a bit biased on the person who's starting opposite the blank person, because that person doesn't really get blocked out as much. That's Blocus, plays in about 15 minutes, and if you like abstract tile placing games, it's one for you. This has been Steve from the Dice Cup. Thank you very much.
And that's how you play Blocus. We're going to go into match 2, but just before we do that, we're going to get the standings after 1 round. It won't be much to do now, but basically each person will score some points based on how well they do in each game, with some tiebreaks going in as well. If you finish on the same score, you kind of share the points. But you get 4 points if you win the game, then 2, then 1, then 0 for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So let's have a look at how people are doing after just 1 game, and then we're going to take it to table 1 with a side camera on table 2. So we haven't got the standings for you, but we have the action at table 1. I can see at the top James Heppel, he's playing green, and we're hopefully going to get an over-down view of the table as it's going along. And there we go, we can see James is green, and we're going to get the names of the other people on the table now. It's nice to see some juniors there. There's a junior playing red who's clearly done well in his first match to get here. What are your thoughts on the tactics of Blocus then, Paco?
Well, the aim of Blocus is to end with the least possible number of tiles and the least size of the tiles. So the more that you can enter in empty spaces, the better. For example, red is trying to intend the space between green and blue in the upper side through the corner. So if red can enter there, there is a huge space that red can occupy. For example, blue is trying to enter the yellow and red space down on the bottom side through the left corner.
Blue can get there now, can't they?
So blue can enter through that part, and all players try to occupy as much space as possible into the space that it is not yours. I mean, for example, blue is coming from the upper left, and both sides are part of the blue. I mean, green is coming from the up right, sorry, and both sides on this diagonal are from green.
So
And
James has just played that piece there
yeah,
to block
to
red
avoid
in.
exactly.
And then red's going round.
And now red is trying to enter on the upper right.
So
And then it's yellow. I mean, they're playing clockwise. And so after red is playing yellow, who maybe is trying. Okay, there are two strategies in this game. One is trying to avoid the opponents to enter in your territory. Like, for example, if yellow will have covered the bottom left, where exactly now have you seen the blue piece entering there? And
so now red
that will be defensive.
Now red will definitely get into green's territory.
Not now. I mean, because it has been blocked.
Red will.
Red will. Yes, not yellow.
Okay. Yellow's been blocked. Yeah.
So you can be either defensive of your territory from the others to enter, or you can be aggressive. You can be trying to enter the others' territory.
And when you're trying to block other people in, you're trying to block points. You're trying to block the corners of the shape rather than the shape itself. So, for example, the blue piece in the middle, right near the middle, the L shape, a lot of the edge, the corners of the blue piece have been cut off.
Yes.
The only place they can go is the two-space gap beneath it.
Yes.
With their two-piece, and that's the only way they can get out.
Yeah. The way to block the opponent is to avoid to have the corner of the piece free. So if you block the corners, then the opponent cannot move, because the only way to move is connecting through the corners, not through the sides. If you connect through the sides, it is forbidden. So the only way is through the corners. If the corners are occupied by the opponent, then no way to move.
So if you were green now, it's green's turn to play, it's James's turn to play. Would you try and block the red piece? Because if you can stop that red corner piece getting in, if you can play, for example, he's already played it.
I think that at this moment, if I will be yellow,
green, one green now.
Green, green, I will try to enter bottom side with, I mean, just the piece in the middle, trying to find
like
a corner among the red and the yellow, a corner
so
to
if you
enter.
played the T, like this piece
Yeah,
here.
this piece is key. I mean, I think that green has made a very good play. Even if red is entering in his territory, no problem, because
green can get,
on the yellow and red space. So now red has played, so now it's turned to yellow. Yellow can try to avoid green to enter his territory, or he can try to go to the up left, trying to enter the blue and green territory through the upper left. So there are many.
Yeah, I don't think yellow. Yeah, it's going to be tough for yellow to do, isn't it?
Only
there isn't a single piece. You'd need two pieces, wouldn't you? It'd be lovely if we can get their name, because the only person I know at the moment is James. James is playing green. Yeah. James is the defending Pentamine champion, I believe.
James, yes.
And
not only he's the defending Pentamine champion, he is the Blocus champion for 2 years in a row. So James.
Yeah, he's won the last 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Well done, James. So you can see yellow's made the move you mentioned. Rather than trying to stop green getting into yellow's territory, yellow's tried to get through that gap at the top left.
Yeah, so the, yellow preferred to be aggressive and try to enter the territory between blue and green, instead of blocking green to enter his own territory. And you always have to balance between being defensive or being aggressive and attacking and trying to.
So green could play something now.
Yeah, for sure.
Up here to block both of them coming through, or they could go into the bottom bit.
Yeah, I think that this is the last opportunity he has to enter. Okay.
So we've got AC Garcia playing blue. Sadly, we can't see which piece is AC has got left, although we can figure them out. There we go. So AC's got lots of pieces. You can see that AC's actually separated their 5 pieces and their 4 pieces and smaller, because what you're trying to do is AC's done what James could have done and blocked yellow getting through that way, sort of. But you imagine James is now going to go to the bottom near yellow.
For sure, James is going to the bottom, because if he is not going now there, then maybe no more opportunity. If green blocks yellow to enter in the upper part through the left upper corner, then yellow will block
green down the bottom.
Green going down the bottom. So I'm sure that James is going to try to enter the bottom side. I will do that for sure, but he's the champion for 2 years in a row, so maybe he's going to do something.
Do you think
else.
You would put the long L shape there?
Well, any shape that permits him to continue working on the bottom side.
So
many different.
You play a lot of blockers, do you?
Yes.
So would you be able to say who you think's in the best and who you think's in the worst position on this board?
I think that green is in an interesting position because of this last
so green,
play.
You're saying green's got the bottom section,
yeah,
not quite to himself.
But yellow, if yellow is able to enter, and it is on the upper left, maybe yellow has also a very interesting position, because he can enter on the right side to the red area, and also the bottom part. So yellow is very flexible at this moment.
Okay.
And
so if red had placed that piece 2 further down, they'd be blocking green, wouldn't they?
Red cannot block green, only yellow can block green, and not that easy. I mean, only there are not many ways than yellow can block the down corner of the green. So I will concentrate more what the yellow has done. Have you seen on the upper left?
So yellow's got into that space now.
So yellow is trying to work in the space that it is not his.
Okay, so blue would. So you think blue should be blocking yellow in there? Or do you think blue should try and get in the left-hand side of the board?
I think that blue has the worst position here, because it has no other way than fulfilling the space between yellow and blue, and between red and blue, and also in the middle green and yellow and so on. So
it doesn't look like blue can play much in the middle. There's only one space they can go. So we've got 2 other players at the table. Ho Young Lion is, I believe, a junior from the picture we saw at the start. And well done. So these guys must have won their first game, you'd imagine. There he is, thinking. And we've got lovely Krishna playing yellow there as well. AC Garcia is Angeline's Conception Garcia. So Angeline's, congratulations. Well done for winning your first match. And we've got this type game here. So obviously to win this whole event, because they're playing, this is the second match out of 4, because they're playing 4 matches, you don't need to go undefeated to win the whole event, which you have to do in some of the other events today, especially the heads, the way you're playing 1 versus 1. So in this particular game, because your opponents all your opponents on the last board on the last table won't be undefeated necessarily. There is a chance to win the whole thing without actually winning every match. So there is a chance, as long as you get a good second place in maybe 1 match, you've still got a chance.
Yeah. As far as I see now, I rather would prefer the yellow one. I think the yellow one is having an edge on this match.
So you think
clearly
you think AC played a piece that allowed yellow to get through the gap?
Yeah, that will be. Yeah.
Red can still block them in. So when it's Ho Yang's turn, red can still block the path the yellow into that top section. If Ho Yang,
Yeah, but at this moment, I think that it will be better to wait until yellow settles a piece there, and then either blue or red or green can block yellow to enter. So
So how much do you think this? So this is clearly a game with open information, but it's clearly a game where you can get picked on a bit. So if let's say I'm green and I have a choice to go this way and block red and this way and block blue. If I block red and someone else blocks red and the third person blocks red, red can lose without actually have done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Do you think that plays into effect, or do you think people are always trying to maximise their own score?
Normally there is a strategy that should be followed by all players, but it doesn't happen always the same. And you must try to block the following player, just to avoid him or her to have many alternative choices. I mean, the least choices that you leave to the following player, the better, because if he has only one chance, then he will not do the best. If he has the completely different choices, then he can be flexible and choose whatever is better for him.
I assume to a lesser extent, if you block the person after you, let's say that I'm red and I can either go that way or that way. If you block me going that way, you're probably blocking me from your territory.
Yeah.
So I imagine then I have to go another way away from you.
It is always better to go clockwise and try to force the following player.
So James is
the only choice.
James has played the the straight green piece at the top, the 5 long piece. He's blocked red from accessing that space. He blocked blue a bit, but what he has done, he's blocked yellow from ever getting into that space.
Yeah, the thing is that green is quite happy now on the bottom part, because nobody can reach this piece, the green piece in form of the bridge, and so he prefers to play in another places, and then now he will play for sure, because now he's threatened by red. So
yellow can get through that gap. Sadly, yellow didn't have a longer piece.
That piece is not good enough. It's the only piece. I would rather put a 2 spaces, not a 3 spaces now.
Yeah, I think so. Then you can fit a bigger piece in that gap. Well, you have blocked green taking the space though.
Okay.
By playing a 3 space.
That is true.
You have blocked green kind of.
Okay, trying to enter. Yeah. Sorry. That's so then maybe he's right.
There is the piece with 5 square, like 4 in a square and 1 sticking out that can go in the gap.
It is not possible to. Okay.
It can go in the gap there.
Yeah, but okay, then entering with 1 tile.
Okay, so in a sec we're just going to break. We're just going to have a break from play to have a look at the standings after the first round. We imagine that the 4 people at the table won their first match, but there will be some other people on table 2 who also won their first match. So we're going to have a look at that. Remember, it's 4 points to win, 2 for second, 1 for third, and 0 if you come last. I'm afraid these are tournament points. So we're going to take a look at the standings now. So these are standings after 1 match. There are 7 tables in play, and you can see the 7 people at the top with 4 points won their matches. So we've got James. So the current standings are not seeded. So at the moment, when I say seeded, I mean stratified. So usually you would have stratified. So basically, if I win my first match, I'm generally going to play someone else's win their first match. But the way this event is run is until the very last round, there probably aren't going to be any stratified matches. So we have Florian, Ricardo, James, Noah. We had an interview earlier in the week. I imagine Matthew Hathwell as well. He is a former silver medalist in the pentamine, so well done Matthew for winning your first match. Visala and Emily. Emily, we had a view. She was on the top table at Dominion for a point. So these 7 people won their first match. But this clearly states that they weren't seeded. So basically, when I say stratified, they weren't stratified. So the table we're looking at has got James on. It's also got Ho Yang Lion on as well, or Leon as well. So Ho Lang came second in their first game. So well done to Ho Lang. So we're going to go back to the table in play. And we are going to show you 2 more matches after this, and the last one should be seeded, where we should get the gold medalist.
This is Blocus for sure.
Yeah. It's just it's not stratified at the moment, I imagine. You okay?
I think.
Well, Matthew's playing blockers, and how Yang's on the table we've got.
Are you sure that these are the results of Locus? Of? After first round.
So we're going to go back to the table and play, where people were kind of spreading out. It's getting to the point where it's tight. You're going to start to get to the point here. You can see there's not much free space here. So green's just gone there, and your score in blockers is not the number of pieces you have remaining, it's the number of squares.
Squares, yes. So green has blocked yellow to enter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much yellow can do about that. Green's also blocked red down the bottom. Red can't get into the left-hand side. Red has got a bit of play left. Red's actually was looking good earlier, but green has blocked red quite severely. Green has blocked red at the top, and green has blocked red at the bottom. So red's the only out red has. He's got a bit of space to work with on the right-hand side, and the only other out red has is the L shape in the middle of the board. You can play your single piece.
Single piece, yes.
To get down, but that's easily blockable. So as soon as you play that single piece, someone's going to come in and block you getting any further.
With the green, yeah.
So red's not in a great shape. Red's got a few pieces that they can't place, and they're going to finish scoring those at the end.
Very fast, yeah.
Yeah, so James has still got some space to play into down at the bottom. James can't get to the right-hand side of the table, apart from by playing their single piece up near the shape that looks like a W. And that's the only way there. So that yellow piece that yellow played, the 3 long piece on the right-hand side, is actually pretty good because it's keeping green out the right-hand side of the table.
I will do that. Yes.
Blue is...
But yellow is playing now, I think, after red.
Yellow is next. So yellow, I would imagine yellow would get into the gap on the right-hand side. Red can no longer stop yellow if yellow does it right now. So I imagine they will play the piece with 4 squares and 1 sticking out, the 5 piece, into that gap.
I would say that yellow is the best situation at this moment,
I think
and
so.
green after.
Yellow can get to a lot of the right-hand side of the board. Yellow, that's all yellow's got to move into, but there's very few people that can actually block yellow doing that. Blue is stuffed, I'm afraid. Blue has got 1 out to the top. There's a bit of space in the top right corner. Blue has got an out. He can possibly, she can possibly get into that space. But looking at the pieces she's got left, you can see can you see what Blue's done? The Blue has sidelined 2 pieces to the right-hand side.
Yes.
Of Blue's pieces. The long blue one, I imagine, is going to go down the left-hand side of the table, and the little L shape is probably going to go up in the top right corner near where the red and green pieces are. To get into a bit more space. So they look like Blue's 2 certain plays. And now there is a danger in doing that, because if you kind of telegraph to your opponents what you're aiming to do, they can potentially stop you. Generally, like Paco said, though, you're playing for yourself in this game. You're playing to maximise your best opportunities, which sometimes, that's a piece I thought.
You talk about this piece, and it was clear.
Yellow still has an opportunity just underneath that place to play their single piece.
Single piece.
So yellow can still use a single piece to get into this. There's a little bit of space where red's left, and only yellow can move into it. No other colour can.
But also he can play the single piece on the upper right. I mean, has 2 alternative plays.
So Blue's found a space that we missed. Actually, Blue, we saw it earlier on. I imagine that James is going to block this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if he can. But Blue's
he can for sure.
Blue's placed a 2-piece
with
a
5. He prefers.
He hasn't got a 5 he can place, has he?
Yes, that one.
That one doesn't fit.
That was 4.
Oh, it does fit. Yeah, it does fit. Yeah, you are right. Apologies, my fault.
No problem. I think.
Yeah, you're right. You called it right. That stops Blue getting in. So Blue is probably potentially going to come last here. Blue has a bit of space in the top with the L shape that Blue sidelined earlier. And the reason Blue did it in that order is because if James didn't block the blue piece that Blue just played, Blue would have a lot more space to play into. So Blue's trying to do that first before they get blocked and forcing James to block her. Red hasn't much space to work into at all. Red might have 2 more pieces to play. Has Red played their 2 piece yet? They haven't. So I think Red can play their 2 piece at the top and their single piece in a couple of places.
And nothing else.
I don't think there's anything else Red can play. I don't think there's anywhere else Red can move into. So I think Red actually might lose.
15 points.
I think Red actually might lose here. We can't see what Red's got remaining, but we know they've got their single and their double piece to go. They've got their 3 in a row as well, but they can't place that.
Yeah.
So I think they've got more pieces than we can see on screen.
I think that blue may be behind, and then red, and green and yellow are fighting for the victory. But I think that maybe white, yellow is going to win. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
So
that is wonderful because it has avoided a piece of 4 for
green.
Now the fight is between yellow and green. They don't have to think in another player. I mean, just how to avoid the other player.
How many more places are there for green to go? There's not many, you know. I think green's actually stuck here.
Yeah.
I think actually yellow's probably going to win this.
Yeah, I think so too. Yes.
So this is the bit we saw earlier. So Angeline's has got a bit of space at the top. The problem is here that red can still place their 2-piece there to stop Angeline's getting any more into that space. And I imagine that's what red's going to do on red's turn because red hasn't got much else to do.
So
now.
So that is the only possibility.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And then 4. No, it's interesting.
Yeah, 4, no one can block him.
Then we made a mistake because this is really important
you could
for
do 4, then
3, then 2.
I can't do. Oh, you can do 2. 4, 3, and 2. Yeah.
So 4, 3, and 2, and 1. So maybe 4 and 4, 8. Maybe a tie because the other player, the yellow player, is leaving 8.
If it's a tie, is it just a flat tie, or do you count pieces? So if there's a tie in the game,
I think that in this case there will be 2 pieces of 4, so
that would be a flat
no
tie.
difference. Yes, but I don't think that there is any difference. Just the number of tiles.
So we're on blue now. Blue's got. No, on red. Are we on red? Are we?
We are now on red.
So I think that's a mistake from red because blue is now going to go in that space at the top where red could put his 2-piece.
Yeah.
Oh no, that is apologies, incorrect. That is not a mistake because red can play the 2-piece next to the 1-piece.
Yes.
And then they've got a bit more space to play with.
And where is the 2 pieces?
It's off the ball.
It should be somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then put the 4 piece. Yeah.
So it's yellow now. So yellow's going to try and move into the space on the right hand side, and yellow has a couple of choices. Yellow can either play the single piece to get the 5 in a row down.
I think that he's going to use the 4 squares piece in the mid left.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, there. Is that because it will eventually block James coming through? Will it do that? It might not.
I think. Okay. Yes. Then with.
So this is stopping James. Oh no, it doesn't stop James coming through. It doesn't stop James coming through, does it?
I think that it was a mistake. I think that I will play. Trying to put the
the problem
the 5.
is the problem is
he's trying to put the 5.
The problem is that Lovely Krishna is now going to get blocked to play their 5-piece.
No, the 5 is here.
Because red's got a single. Red's used a single piece. Red's used a single piece. So ignore me. There we go. It's James next. So red's going to get a 2.
I think that in the end, 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, so 8. And here will be 8 too.
Where's this one going?
This
no, because the 5-piece is going.
Oh yeah, 5.
So is green going to win this? Green's going to score 8. We think yellow's going to score 11 because we think the little 3-piece L shape that yellow has can't. Oh no, they can place it there.
No.
Yep, they can play a single piece and then L shape.
Oh yes, the single piece.
So I think So like I said, I think it's going to be 8 each.
8.
We think so. We'll see. Now red, it's hard to see what red's got left, but red has got a bit of space to play into now. But that might be red's last go. So red's next go is probably their last go, and I think they can get at least a 4-piece down unless they've got a bigger piece behind. So yellow is going to play, I imagine their 5-piece at some point.
Why blue is not playing?
Oh no.
Why blue is not playing? I don't understand.
Because blue played that on their last turn.
Okay.
And they didn't want to get blocked.
Okay, so this is the turn.
So
off.
I believe blue will play the 5-long piece now. I don't think there's anything else blue can do, but they can get their single piece down on the last turn of the game as well. And I think blue's going to score
Green here, avoiding 4 for blue.
You mean 4 for red?
Yeah, for red, yes. In the center, I think that green has nothing to do with the 2 spaces.
We can put it in over here, but I imagine you're right. You're probably right.
Yeah. Yes. If you can avoid any
so
opponent to put the 4 tiles.
I think red is passing now. Red cannot go, and that's red score. Red score is going to be 20.
Yeah. So red is going to lose, Angelina is to be the 3rd.
I mean, green. I think
tie.
green missed a trick here. Green could have played their single piece here.
Yeah.
And then that would stop yellow.
Before.
And that would stop yellow.
Yeah, and then he will win.
Yeah, because stopping red wasn't
absolutely. You're 100% right. Yeah.
He could have stopped that. Yeah. So
it is better to stop the opponent who is going to tie with you, not the other. Yeah, it was wrong. I mean, strange in James. Then they concentrate on red instead of concentrating on the opponent that is really dangerous. This is not.
So James still got a couple of turns left. This one and one more.
This is not normal.
Yeah, and red's passed, so it's blue now. I think blue's passing now. Oh, we missed that. James has won then. We missed that could go in there.
Goodness.
Yeah, how did we miss that?
Where do we have the head? I mean, then that was the reason why he didn't care about this, because he knew.
Yeah, I think so.
He knew.
So they're the final scores: 20 for red, 8 for yellow, 11 for, probably 12 for blue. And James is just explaining what, what we could have done.
How to improve it? Yes.
Okay, so and that is 4 for James. So that's James. James has now got 2 wins out of 2. He will be on 8 tournament points. That will be 2 points to Lovely Krishna in second. 1 point to Angeline's playing blue in third, and sadly no points for I've forgotten Ho Lung.
There was Angelina's and then a Korean here.
Yeah, I forget it's Ho Lung something. I can't remember his surname because it's disappeared. So that's the standings. That's the result of game 2. Have we got a table 2 to look at in this field? Sometimes have in this room we have 2 tables to look at. But I believe that game has also finished, so we have nothing to see there. So we're going to take a short break now. I think we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to bring you 2 more games after that.
And then?
And I believe after this we're going to have a slight change in commentary. We're going to have Yuli Logodonsky commentating. She's 12 years old. She would love her hand at commentating. She's going to have a go at commentating blockers with Paco here. And then we're going to return with myself and Paco for the last match, which will determine the gold medal. So we're just going to have a break for about 3 minutes or so, and while we sort out the next table and match, and get some standings for you as well. See you soon.
See you soon.
Hello and welcome to another weekly video from Bondora. A great question being asked by our investors from across the world is that why are we based in Tallinn? Tallinn is referred to as Europe's Silicon Valley and is a hub for innovative companies like Skype, TransferWise, Pipedrive, and of course Bondora, something not so commonly seen in a medieval capital city. Estonia hosts the NATO Cyber Defense Center and is also building a data embassy in Luxembourg, which will have the same rights as regular embassy, but it is able to remotely reboot the country's IT systems in case of a cyber attack. So due to this level of cybersecurity, and since there are children being taught how to code in kindergarten, there is a wealth of tech talent, and this provides a great environment for us to thrive and achieve our goal of becoming Europe's #1 peer-to-peer lending platform. We hope this information helps you understand why we are based in Tallinn, Estonia, and be sure to leave a comment below as to what you want to see in the next week's video. and how we can consistently improve your investing experience on Bundora platform. Thanks for watching, and until next week, keep investing and bye for now. Hello and welcome to another weekly video from Bundora. A great question being asked by our investors from across the world is that why are we based in Tallinn? Tallinn is referred to as Europe's Silicon Valley and is a hub for innovative companies like Skype, TransferWise, Pipedrive, and of course Bundora, something not so commonly seen in a medieval capital city. Estonia hosts the NATO Cyber Defense Center and is also building a data embassy in Luxembourg, which will have the same rights as regular embassy, but it is able to remotely reboot the country's IT systems in case of a cyber attack. So due to this level of cybersecurity, and since there are children being taught how to code in kindergarten, there is a wealth of tech talent, and this provides a great environment for us to thrive and achieve our goal of becoming Europe's #1 peer-to-peer lending platform. We hope this information helps you understand why we are based in Tallinn, Estonia, and be sure to leave a comment below as to what you want to see in the next week's video and how we can consistently improve your investing experience on Bundora platform. Thanks for watching, and until next week, keep investing and bye for now. Hello and welcome to another weekly video from Bundora. A great question being asked by our investors from across the world is that why are we based in Tallinn? Tallinn is referred to as Europe's Silicon Valley and is a hub for innovative companies like Skype, TransferWise, Pipedrive, and of course Bundora, something not so commonly seen in a medieval capital city. Estonia hosts the NATO Cyber Defense Center and is also building a data embassy in Luxembourg, which will have the same rights as regular embassy, but it is able to remotely reboot the country's IT systems in case of a cyber attack. So due to this level of cybersecurity, and since there are children being taught how to code in kindergarten, there is a wealth of tech talent, and this provides a great environment for us to thrive and achieve our goal of becoming Europe's #1 peer-to-peer lending platform. We hope this information helps you understand why we are based in Tallinn, Estonia, and be sure to leave a comment below as to what you want to see in the next week's video and how we can consistently improve your investing experience on Bundora platform. Thanks for watching, and until next week, keep investing and bye for now. Hi viewers, let's talk about Bundora's easiest way to invest, the Go and Grow. Go and Grow is an incredibly simple and automated service that allows you to earn 6.75% per annum and take your cash out at any time. Here are some benefits. It has a yield of 6.75, helping you to plan for the future. You can access your cash without any excessive withdrawal penalties. You also get a diversified portfolio of investments supported by advanced and reliable technology. And you only pay tax when you make a withdrawal over your capital amount invested. That's not all, there's more. You can share access with the people you trust to invest together for a shared goal like an upcoming world trip or a wedding. And if you are already a Bundora investor, you can transfer your existing Bundora investment portfolio to Go and Grow with just a few clicks. Check for more info in the description box below and visit us on Facebook at Bundora Capital. Start today and make your dreams a reality with Go and Grow.
So welcome back to the Blockers recording. We're just waiting for one match to finish before we go on to round 3. I'm now joined, we've swapped it around, it's myself and Yuli, is that right?
Yeah.
Now Yuli, you commented on one on Sunday, which event did you do?
Settlers of Catan.
Settlers of Catan. Do you play Settlers yourself?
Yeah, I do, yes.
And did you have fun watching it and commentating on it?
Yeah, it was really good,
Really good, yeah. I wasn't here for that, but apparently it was a really well-attended event. There was like 50 people.
Yeah,
50
yeah,
people.
it's a very popular event.
Yeah, it was like the first ever, what's called a Euro game. It came out in '95. So you've got some fun facts of Blockers for us, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. I searched up some things about Blockers. I found out that it's actually a video game.
Okay.
and that you can like download it on your phone. Yeah, that I thought that was pretty cool.
Is that a bit
Yeah.
like, not quite like Tetris then? It's an actual game where you put, like the same game, is it, on your phone?
I'm not sure. I haven't like seen it on
Okay.
the phone, but I did just found out that it was just a video game. Yeah, and I found out that it won quite a few awards. Like it won a math award, and it won like this teachers award. Like yeah.
It's a good game. I used to be a maths teacher, and I used to take it into school, and the kids loved it. It's very good for promoting kind of like spatial awareness and logical thinking. So before we go into the next match, and we're looking at match 3, we're going to get some standings through as well, see how people are doing. James Heppel, we know, is on 8 points, but has anyone else joined him? We're going to look at the Pentamind. I'll explain to you, Lee, if those of you who don't know what it is basically the competition for the overall winner, the overall best player at the Mind Sports Olympiad. There are certain restrictions about which events you can do, but here are the current standings. So you can see there's 2 juniors on that list. You've got George Rimmer-Topkin and Marcus Ickler. I believe you need to be under 18 to be a junior. And what you get in each event, you get a score. If you win it, you get a score of about 100 points, unless it's a premium event. So you can see, do you remember James Heppel? He was playing in Settlers of Catan. I think he came second.
Yeah.
So he scores 104. He gets a bit more than 100 because the Settlers of Catan is a premium event. Everyone seems to love it. So we can see there's a bit of movement. We've got Riccardo Gucci, who has been a previous senior medalist in the Pentamind. He's now in the standings. I don't know which event he's just had on to make him there, but he's played in a couple of Premier events, got some decent scores. Anything over 90 is great. So if you're trying to win this, you want scores over 90, so the average is over 90. So you can see that Martin at the top has got 3 scores of 90, which is very, very good.
Yeah.
Do you know any of these people? Have you played against any of those before?
I don't think so, but I recognise some of the names.
Yeah,
Yes.
so Andres Kusk, if we have a look at here, these are the people who've won the Pentamind before. Andres Kusk has won it a few times there, and you can see him down in 8th place at the moment. Martin Hobermargi is also from Estonia, and he's beaten Andres at a few events this year, so you can see Martin's doing very well. In fact, he's got 4 scores of over 90, which is fantastic. We're going to go back in a second to the table for blockers. The pieces are ready. We're just waiting for the pairings and the tabling to be done. So we're going to move back there in a sec. So there we go. So how long are you here for, Yuli, then? Are you here for the whole week?
Yes, I'm playing some games this week and next week. I'm playing Rummikub tomorrow, and I'm going to be playing Lost Cities, I think, on Monday or Sunday.
Yeah, it's
Not sure
somewhere
which
on the
day.
weekend. I think it's on.
Yeah.
I think it is actually on Monday. You might be right. Which is your favourite game that we do here at the Mind Sports?
Probably Settlers of Catan. Yeah, I really like that game. It is pretty long, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you need to use your brain on it, and like you just kind of just switch off and you just concentrate on the game.
Yeah, it's different from some other games as well, isn't it? Because you have to actually, not only do you have to do the best yourself,
Yeah.
but you have to be able to trade with other people. You have to make good trades.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can get frustrated at people not wanting to trade with you
Yeah.
and trading with other people instead. That must get a bit annoying, mustn't it?
Yeah. I also really like Lost Cities. It's a bit shorter.
So
It's a bit
Lost
shorter,
Cities
yeah.
is the 2-player card game where
Yeah.
you're kind of trying to explore. I like Lost Cities because is that the one where if you start exploring you lose points? If you kind of lose 20 points.
You need to
start.
get 20 over 20 points, because then you're minusing points at the end of the game. You minus 20 points at the end of the game.
For every
Yeah.
exploration you started, yeah.
Yeah. So the points you get. So say I got 30 points, I have to minus 20. So overall, I'd have 10 points in that column.
That kind of makes sense, because if you're going exploring, if you just say, I'm just going to explore everywhere, and you pay all these people to carry your bags and stuff like that, or whatever
Yeah.
you need to do, and you don't find anything because you don't go very far, it's going to lose your money, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you go one really far exploration, I think you get one of them is kind of you trekking in the snow, isn't it? The white
Yeah.
one. You get a lot of points because you just do that really well. You only invest in one exploration, and then you get lots of points that way. I really like that, because often when I find in that game is that you've got a hand of 8 cards, and you don't
Yeah.
want to play any of them. you have to play a card, don't you, in your turn?
Yeah,
But
you
you
have
don't.
to.
You don't want to discard it because then they have it. You don't want to play it because it's too high a number or too low a number.
Yeah.
You can do that there. And it's really weird when you've got a choice of 8 things to do and none of them are very good. So that makes it a really interesting game.
That's why I don't like going fast if I don't have very good cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to go first and you think, I'm just going to have to discard that. And invariably they will pick it up. Won't
Yeah, they might take it, yeah.
Yeah, which is not the best, is it? Yeah, so do you play blockers yourself?
Well, yesterday I played it for the first time in like 5 years.
Wow.
Just to, for the live video. But it was pretty easy to learn. It's, the rules are pretty simple. It's just how you play it.
Tactics are different.
Yeah.
Now, you saw myself and Paco comment on the game earlier, and we missed a couple of moves, didn't we? Did you spot those moves that we missed? Doesn't matter. You might not have been paying massive attention. It's fine. Yeah, we missed a move. We thought James was going to tie, and he ended up winning because we missed. He could put a piece in a certain place. I think this is a game where going first is possibly not necessarily an advantage, because if you put a piece down first and you get to the middle first, that's what you're trying to do. Yeah. If you go first, then they go block, 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 and you can't do much.
I think. Sometimes being first isn't that bad because. You need to start from like the bigger pieces. So I always start with like the one that's kind of like a rectangle with like a little one, like a little.
So 4 squares, 4 squares in a square with one sticking out.
Yeah.
We'll starting with a 5-piece, like so a 5-piece piece.
Yeah.
They're called a pentomino. Starting with a pentomino first is really good because you the more 5 pieces you get down, the easier it is to put your other ones down. So we've got the game's finished now. We've got the results after 2 matches here. We're looking at people who got 8 have won 2 matches. So you can say James Heppel has won 2. We saw him win 2. Matthew Hatherell, he was a silver medalist 4 years ago in the Olympiad. He's also won this event before. He won it in 2014 and he came second last year, so well done to Matthew. James Heppel himself is a 2-time defending champion. And then some other people. Vizala Bodder, he won his first match and his second match. We haven't seen him yet. Victor Hernandez-Lewis is a junior, as is Noah Conception. We've got a few more people there. David Pearce, can you see David Pearce in 7th place? He is the all-time medal winner. He has won 157 medals, which is 56 more than anyone else, so he's doing very well. There's a couple of juniors there. Riccardo Gucci is the leading senior, so he's still there. And like we said earlier, you don't need to win every match for you to win the whole event. So.
So my little sister started playing blockers yesterday.
What's
we
her
taught
name?
her Shelley.
Okay.
And we and we started playing, and she wasn't really sure how to play, so we started putting down. She started with like the smaller ones, and we're trying to explain it to her, and she doesn't really understand. So it's a really funny story. So I'm playing with one of my friends and my dad and Shelley. And she's actually doing pretty well. And when she like blocks people, she always makes like really funny hand movements, or she like says something really funny. It's like the funniest game you can ever play because all the stuff she says, and she just thinks that she's winning all the time when she's not. It's just really funny.
How old, Shelley?
5.
5. Wow. Still playing games at 5 is great. I think this game can be played with any age, can't it? Yeah. That's great. What sort of hand movements does she make?
She kind of goes like that.
Oh, like
yeah.
Take that. Yeah, I've blocked you. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay, so we're going to go to table 1 now. We've seen the results. We've seen the Pentamind. We're now going back to the first table. We will see the people at the table if they've been streamed there. We don't have people there yet, I've been told, so we're just going to wait a few more minutes. The results are in, so we're just waiting for them people to pair up and sit down. The game itself isn't too long, so we shouldn't have too much time to wait. Yeah, we can put the results back on. That would be lovely. So there we go. So we can see there. Now, obviously, if it's what's called stratified or Swiss, do you know what that means?
No.
So basically, when it's something stratified or Swiss, so you play an event, and let's say you play an event and you win, and I play the same event, I win, well, we could play each other because we both won. So in this particular case, you can see James, Matthew, Vasal and Victor are the top 4 people in the event. So in theory, if it was Swiss, what we're going to see is at the table we watch next, it will be those 4 people. And then one of those will win. And then the very last match, it will be the leading 4 people. So you know that whoever wins the last match will win the whole thing. So we're going to see if that happens at the moment. We've got a few other people there who we might not have mentioned. Emily Watson, we've seen her a few times.
Yeah, she played Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, she played Dominion
Yeah.
last night, so Emily's, I believe everyone seems to know Emily. She is very happy and nice to talk to. We've got Jae Yun Lee, I believe is a junior, Korean junior. I don't know if you've seen, but there's lots of Korean juniors kind of in the halls everywhere. It's great to see so many young people playing. So which is your favourite event to play then? You're going to be playing Rummikub and Lost Cities. Which is your favourite? Oh, you've said that already, Settlers of Catan, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I didn't play it. I
Oh, you
just
didn't
did
play
the
it? Okay.
video, yeah.
Which one do you think you're going to do best at then? Lost Cities, Rummikub, or any other?
It's hard to say because sometimes I can see like I can in Rummikub I can kind of just like see everything connect. Like I can just take one from this part and then one from that one and just put them together. But sometimes I don't know, just my brain isn't thinking and I can't really put things together. But then at Lost Cities, it's kind of just the luck of cards that you get.
Okay, so you think if your brain's in gear that you're going to be best at Rummikub?
Yeah.
Okay, and Lost Cities is...
Just the luck of the
Yeah,
cards,
sometimes you just draw bad cards. Okay, yeah. If I was playing... Now, this is the first time I've been here. I've never been to the World My Sports Olympiad. I think it's great. I think if you want to give it a go... is it your first time here?
No, it isn't.
You've played before. You played last year then.
Yeah.
What did you play last year?
Last year, I played Settlers of Catan, and I played Lost Cities. Funny story, actually. The first time I played Lost Cities, I played the board game, not with the cards.
Okay.
So with the little pieces and stuff, and that's what I thought it would be. And I didn't know how to play the one with the cards,
Oh,
where it's
wow.
just 2 players. So I came in, and I had no idea how to play, and I came in last
Oh,
because I
dear.
thought it was going to be the board game and not the cards.
Yeah, there's been a couple of games this week that I've not known how to play as well. I've had to learn last-minute desperation just so I can talk about them, which is slightly weird. It's weird to come here and there's obviously so many games, like 20 to 30 games here, like 4 games going on at any one time, and it's great to see just lots of different things. So if I was talking about my favourite game. So for my first time here, I think it's a great time. I think the game I would do best at is a Euro game called Voyages of Marco Polo. But the game I probably would have liked to play, having seen the event, is a game called Boku. Have you played Boku before?
I've heard of it, but I haven't
So
played
Boku,
it.
there's a recreational room. So if you're in London and you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, I might pop down to watch, you can actually pop down to play as well. There's a little room to the side with lots of little practice games in there. And when some of the experts, the people who are playing in these events are free, they're in that room kind of giving tips and helping out and teaching other people how to play. One of those games is Boku, and it's just a little game about marbles. You're trying to get 5 in a row. And I commentated on Boku, and I found it really enthralling. I thought, oh yeah, actually, I know these guys are better than me. They're really thinking about the game, but I actually think if I played in the event, I wouldn't come last, and that's quite nice to see. Yeah. So Lost Cities, the board game, is that? So why is that different to the card game? Because I've not actually played the board game.
I haven't played the board game in a long time, so I forgot a little bit.
Is it the same sort of thing? You're trying to get expeditions, are you?
Yeah, but like you take the piece and you're traveling instead.
Oh, right. So it's like a board with a track on it, and you move down the track.
Yeah, and you're moving down the track. It's a lot different to the card game. So that's why it doesn't really...
Okay. Yeah, so obviously, I mean, I would imagine anyone coming here, having never played a game, entering a tournament, working out how to play as you're playing, I don't think anyone would not come last. That's really hard to do, isn't it? But you're going to play again this year, so anything above last will be an improvement.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that is a 2-player game, isn't it? So this is where... So the 2-player games are nearly always stratified. Do you remember what stratified means?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you play in your 2-player game, so what'll happen if you come to one of these events and you're not doing very well, you're playing a game that's a bit too hard for you or something like that, or you keep playing against excellent players, and if you keep losing, well, what happens is you'll play someone else who keeps losing. So if I lose my first 2 games and you lose your first 2 games, well, then we might play each other. And because we're both losing our games, it might be quite a fair game. But the same is true if you're winning. If you keep winning your games, you're not going to keep getting easier games, because every time you win a game, someone else wins a game as well, and the chances are that if you've won 3 out of 3, and you're probably going to be playing someone else who's won 3 out of 3. So that becomes a bit fairer, and you get much more fairer games. Generally, when we're commentating on the top table. So generally, we're going to see the table where people are undefeated or are on 3 out of 3 or 4 out of 4 or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Do you think in a couple of years' time then we'll see you on the junior leaderboard?
I've won actually a few junior medals.
Congratulations. Here?
Yeah.
What have you won?
Settlers of Catan, I've won. There was only 4 juniors.
Okay, but you won a medal, so you didn't come 4th out of 4.
No, I
Okay,
didn't.
where did
I
you
won
go?
the gold medal. Yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
well done. Where did you come overall then? It was about 50 people? Do you remember?
This was 1 or 2 years ago. I don't really remember. Out of everyone, I think I came somewhere in the middle, like
Okay, that's really,
more to the middle to the last.
that's really good, because you'd have been about, you're 12 now, so you'd have been about
Yeah.
10?
Yeah, 9 or 10, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic to do that well. So obviously, if you want to win the overall junior award, you can come and you play in as many events as you can, but your best 5 events count, just like the Pentamind.
Yeah.
The overall person wins a Pentamind, and then you look down the list and you look for the leading junior, and so on. So can we see you in maybe 2 or 3 years' time entering more events by learning more games?
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Do you think when you come here then, do you learn new games so that you can play them next year?
Sometimes, not all the time. Last year I learnt Lost Cities, which I'm going to play in this year.
Okay.
And also this year I learnt how to play Rumikube.
Rumiko, I used to play that as a kid. That won the Game of the Year in 1981, I think. I think I'm right. Anyway, something like that. Way before you were born, I'm afraid. As you're 12. You were born in
2005.
Oh, you're making me feel old now. 1981 is before I was born, actually. So that's quite a long time ago. Yeah, but some of these games are great. There's old and new games here. There's a game called Trench, which is quite new. It's an abstract game. It's about 2 years old. And then there are games like Go and chess, many centuries old. I just wonder if we can have a view of the table. Maybe the players are taking their seats shortly. There we go. So they're ready to play. In fact, one person started. I believe the back to us is James Heppel. So James has stayed on the top table. If we can get a top-down view, hopefully we'll be furnished with their names at some point. But James goes first. I don't know how you decide who goes first. I think it's maybe just a random draw. And they're heading towards the centre. Is that the best? Do you think that's the best strategy? Go towards the centre?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because if you're the first to get to the centre, you can start building out to the sides. Then. Straight away.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think so. If we look at the names there, Victor Hector Luis is a junior. He is not undefeated. Yalon Lee is a junior as well, and Visala Bodu. Now Visala Bodu is one of the other 2 people on 8 points, I believe. So there are 2 people on 8 points at this table. I actually think there might be 3 at this table. I can't remember. We'll have a look at the standings in a bit just to see where these guys are. It might be stratified. So if obviously Visala and James are on 8 points, then maybe one of the other 2 is as well. And you can see they're doing what you said as well. They're putting down all their 5 pieces first, which is what your sister wasn't doing. Is that right?
Yeah. What are some good strategies for the game? Because I didn't do very well when I was playing.
I was talking to Paco earlier, and what you're trying to do is if you play a piece alongside another piece, you can both get through. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to kind of get yourself a little area where only you can move into. So at the moment, yellow has got an area to the bottom beneath it and an area to the left beside it.
Yeah.
If yellow can get through the centre and maybe pick on a bit of the area at the top or the right hand side, yellow's got more places to go.
Yeah.
So to do that, what you're aiming to do is trying to block other people getting into your area while still getting into theirs. So if you're trying to get into theirs, you're attacking. If you're blocking them getting into yours, you're defending. So what you'll do, the way to block it, now he hasn't blocked green here. And the reason he hasn't blocked green is because it's edge to edge. To block someone else, you've got to go corner to corner. So you'll notice that green can go down below the yellow piece and above and around the yellow piece, the way it works.
Yeah.
So they haven't but not only is yellow not blocked green, green hasn't blocked yellow. Okay, so they haven't blocked each other, so green and yellow can kind of go past each other, which might be beneficial to both of them. But blue, you see the piece that blue's just played?
Yeah.
Blue has blocked half of yellow's piece. The top corner on yellow's piece, the top left corner, has been blocked. The bottom right corner has been blocked as well. So yellow can't get through that blue piece. And green, although he hasn't actually blocked yellow, is stopped potentially yellow getting through that gap. Okay? So yellow tried to make an attacking move, trying to get past them. Obviously, the longer you're playing pieces for, the more likely you're going to win. So you want to try and get that space. But blue and green have blocked them. And generally what you're trying to do is you're either trying to block, I believe Paco was saying, you're trying to block the person who's going next. So it's red's turn now. So red, in theory, should try and block yellow. It seems like yellow's being picked on a bit here, though.
Yeah.
So what yellow really wants to do is yellow really wants to go underneath the green piece it's touching. Okay, and trying to get into this space, because going on top of the green piece is being blocked in now, and going to the left can't get past the blue piece. So I would imagine yellow would want to go underneath the green piece. So a good move for red would be to block yellow in. So it's blocked yellow in the bottom, but I imagine what we're going to see now is yellow going round the bottom of that green piece, potentially into some space. And what green and blue want to try and do is green and blue want to try and get into the space at the bottom. Can you see the bit that red's kind of blocked off? If green or blue can kind of get round yellow or round red into the space at the bottom, they've got more space to work into.
If a junior comes first, like in the whole competition, like of blockers, do they get just the junior medal, or do they get the senior one?
Well, I imagine they would get the senior one definitely, and the junior medal probably. I actually don't know the answer to that question. It's a very good question. You've actually been here more than I have. So we'll try and find out that question. Generally, I believe they'll get both, but that's just my guess. I think maybe, for example, if the junior came third overall, they might get the overall bronze medal, but the gold junior medal for being the best junior. So I imagine you'll get two different medals depending where you finished.
Okay, cool.
Now, I don't think that... Is that right? I believe Paco is being a big thumbs up. Paco is saying I'm right. So basically, if a junior comes first, they will get 2 gold medals, one for the junior and one for the overall one. And if they come third or whatever they come, they'll get as many medals as they can for each category. I think what happens is there's the overall list, first, second, third. Then you take out all the adults and you rank the juniors, and they get first, second, third. So if you happen to take all the adults and the juniors still in the top, they might get 2 medals. So we're looking at yellow now. Yellow's had a bit of a think, hasn't it? Yellow has a long think here. Now I think yellow should go round or down through the gap between green and red. The other possibility for yellow to do is to try and go up to the left of blue.
Yeah, I think that yellow should start blocking blue, because yellow's basically being blocked by everybody right now.
I'm going to ask you a question. Can yellow block this blue piece that's furthest south?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The problem is it can't, because blue can always go corner to corner, so blue can always go down by the side of this yellow piece, because yellow can't block any of those spaces. So unless yellow plays like an L shape going left and down, it can't really block that blue piece very well.
Yeah.
And generally, what James is going to try and do, he's going to try and get some 5 pieces out there. So he could try and do that. He could try and place a 5 piece like a zigzag shape there. Oh, he's already placed his zigzag shape. But that's pretty good, because what James has got now, he's got 3 corners on that square shape to the right hand side. So he's basically got the top corner that's touching the green, the bottom corner that's touching the red, and a corner out in the middle. So for him to get blocked there, he would need to be blocked on all 3 corners.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Kind of feel bad for yellow being blocked by everybody.
Yeah, he took a long time there, but he got blocked like 3 turns in a row, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now, whether they're just... I mean, generally, I was speaking to Paco earlier. Green didn't just block yellow, it blocked blue as well. I was speaking to Paco earlier, and generally you should be looking to mix attack with defence. So you should be looking to get into some space whilst also protecting the space you've got. So, yeah, so green has blocked quite a bit there. Green's trying to protect its area. The problem is with green is that red can get round and blue can get round still, but green has effectively blocked yellow. So red has got a couple of choices now. Red can try and go up past the green piece to try on the right hand side of the board keep some space for himself. It's actually very easy to block a big long piece, because a big long piece has only got 4 corners, and 2 of those are already blocked. So if you kind of go to the right hand side of that long green piece, it's very easy to block that piece from going anywhere further. The other way red can go is the board on the left side of the table, where yellow and blue are kind of surrounding it. Red can try and sneak into that bit. I imagine that red has a choice. I don't know which one would you pick if you were doing it? Would you try and block green on the right, or would you try and get through to the left?
I think I would try to block green on the right.
Okay. You were attacking player, are you? Yeah, that's a potential thing. So you can do that to the right. You also, not by blocking green on the right, you're keeping yourself a lot of space. You realise that at the moment, yellow's nowhere near getting to the right-hand side of the board, and neither's blue. So if you can keep green out of the right-hand side of the board, you're going to keep a lot of space to yourself, and obviously space at the end of the game means you can place a lot of things.
Yeah.
They've done what you said.
Yeah.
And they've left themselves 5 corners. So there's 5 corners left on that piece that they can build off from. So it's almost impossible for green to block them back.
Mm.
The other thing that, if you notice, if we can go back to... so we've got 2 players here. I believe we've got Vitala and the Korean junior. We've got James Heppel to the right.
When I played yesterday,
Yeah.
the first time I played, I tried placing the ones that I thought wouldn't be able to fit like later in the game when people have taken up a lot of space. But when I played twice, the first time it didn't really work.
Okay.
Because I just took up too much space and then I couldn't place like other ones after that. But then the second time I won
Okay.
by doing that.
Playing with your friend,
Yeah.
your dad and Charlie.
Yeah. So it's always really hard to know what to place at the very beginning because you don't know who's going to be taking up the most space.
Yeah, I'm like that as well. So I have a piece that I hate, and the piece I hate, can I see who's played it? So the piece I don't like is the red piece furthest left. It's like it's a T with a bit sticking out. It's just a weird shape. So that's the piece I hate the most. It's usually the piece I start with just to get it out of the way. I find that a very hard piece to put in. The good bit, like the pieces that are awkward. So like green's first piece is like a W shape, isn't it? It's got a lot of corners. So if you're able to put it late on, it's very hard to block all the corners from that space. But like you said, it's actually very hard later on when a lot of the space is taken up. It doesn't fit into many gaps, whereas long, thin pieces do. So you've got to kind of mix it up. So can you see the red piece? Where Victor was thinking a long time about what to do, and he didn't quite block green in. Can you see Victor's top leftmost red piece?
Yeah.
That will go in the gap between the red and the green, and will get him into the section where blue is. So I wonder if that's his next move.
Yeah, I think a lot of big mistake that a lot of people make is when they place like a shape, they don't think about turning it to save space. Like when I played yesterday, when I was playing with my friend, she put like an L shape down, but she like wasn't thinking, and she could have turned it so that she could have like saved space. But sometimes people just like place it down and kind of forget.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, yeah, that's great. That's a great tip. So if it's space that only you can move into, you want to do it as efficiently as possible, don't you? If it's space that other people can also move into, you kind of want to block them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually think that green is starting to get blocked in a bit here.
Yeah.
And yellow is starting to get blocked in a bit too. I think blue's doing okay. I think blue and yellow have got a lot of space to the left-hand side of the table. Yellow and red have got a lot of space to the bottom. But it looks like, if you look at it from back behind, it looks like a lot of people are moving towards green.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? So I think green's going to struggle here.
Yeah, blue's doing very well though.
Yeah, I think blue's doing well. Blue can still get round green at the top, and blue can still move all the way to the left here. So red's doing what Paco said before he had a little break. He's basically, red is blocking the person who's going next. So red kind of blocking that yellow piece, stopping that yellow piece coming round and blocking red in return. So that is a very defensive move, trying to save some space.
Yeah, I think that, so now it looks like green is getting blocked a lot, but now I think they're starting to kind of move on to yellow now.
Yeah, yellow. I think yellow's been blocked quite a lot this game.
Yeah, yeah.
So who do you think's in the best position then?
Probably blue. They've
Probably
got like
blue.
the most space around, and they block the most people.
Yeah, the only downside to blue, it hasn't got to the right or the bottom. So it's good that it's got a lot of space to move into, but it hasn't. If it starts to get blocked very quickly, blue can't get to the right or the bottom. I think you're right there. I think blue's doing very well. I think red's doing well. I think green is possibly going to struggle because green can't get through very easily, can it?
Yeah.
It's going to be a few turns before green can get through without being blocked. I wonder if we can just have a look at the standings again, because I know Vasala and James are on 8 points. I just wonder what the other two are on, if they're in the top bit of the standings. So if our computer experts can pop up the standings, that would be brilliant. Yeah, so we haven't got Matthew Hathawell, so it isn't stratified at the moment. We've got James Hepnell and Vasala Bodder and Victor Hernandez Luis at the table. So that's a really good table, isn't it? We've got 2 people who've won their first 2 games. Victor has won and came second. And Jae Yun Lee, is that the other person at the table? I think it is, isn't it? Has got a win and a 3rd place. So every single person at this table has already won at least 1 game today, if not 2. And so we can see. So the winner of this table will be potentially leading the field. And what we're going to see in the last match, it will definitely be stratified. So we're going to see the best 4 players left. So this is actually a really good table to watch, because these people are doing very well today. If we can go back to the table, please. Thank you. We can see where's blue just gone. Blue's just gone.
Yeah, blue's blocking green a bit more now.
Yeah, so I think green's in a really bad spot. Green can get through, but what green has to do to get through is generally play some small pieces. And what you don't want to be doing at this stage with lots of space on the board is playing your little pieces. So green can get through using a 1 or a 2 piece at the top in a few places, and green can get through using a 2 or a 3 piece down the bottom. But you don't want to be doing that. You want to still be placing your 5s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that everyone's only placed 5 so far. So as soon as you start placing smaller pieces than 5, you're going to be in trouble.
Red isn't doing too bad.
I think red's doing all right, actually. I think yellow's blocked red a bit at the bottom. Red can still get through with the piece I don't like. You know, remember that piece I don't like? Red can still get through in that bit, and yellow's going to struggle to block red getting all the way through there. So red's got a bit of space to play into behind yellow. I think blue might be doing the best still. I think I agree with you.
But yellow's starting to kind of get around red now, so I think yellow's doing a bit better now. Just green should be worrying.
Yeah, I think so. I think green's going to struggle there. Yellow Lee, although he has won a game today, is on the lowest score at this table. So James and Vasala on 8 and Victor on 6 so far.
Yeah. Blue still has quite a lot of space to go. Just if blue wants to win, it's going to have to hope that yellow goes, tries to block the red more so that blue can go into that space.
Yeah, at the moment it looks like blue and yellow are saving that space on the left hand side, doesn't it? Neither of them have moved into it yet.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a clash if they start going into it at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. So who are we on now? Are we on red now, are we? I think we're on red now. I think green tried to block blue at the top, but if you'll notice right at the top where blue played last, blue can still get through, can't they? A bit. So blue's got a space to play into there.
When I was still in primary school, in the older years, they actually played this game in maths quite a lot.
Did they? I used to be a maths teacher. Maths is the best, isn't it? You don't have to agree, but you probably should.
People could argue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you live in London now, do you?
Yeah, I do, yes. Right. Yeah.
Are you local to this area, or do you have to travel to get here?
It's a 20-minute car journey, not too long.
Okay, that's fine.
It lives pretty near.
So we're in the Mind Sports Olympiad. It's been in London. It's been in London for pretty much all its existence. I believe we're in the north-west part of London, between Watford and London city centre, on Finchley Road. So if you're in the area, you can pop down. We're at the Jewish Convention Centre. It's free to enter, so you can come along and have a look. You can watch people play, as long as they're happy to have you watching. And again, like we said earlier, there are some free demo tables where you can try some of the games being played out.
Yeah, they have a lot of games here.
So, you know what you said earlier? You said the blue and yellow have a lot of space to move into. Well,
yeah, they've started going
but
in.
they've done it in a way that they've shared it. They've kind of gone through each other, which is absolutely fine. They're not blocking each other. They're both kind of just expanding into some space.
Yeah.
But blue kind of was forced to play that red, and they've also blocked red coming through.
Yeah.
So I think yellow and blue have guarded a lot of space themselves. They're still going to fight over it. They're still going to definitely fight over that themselves. But at the moment, they've stopped red coming through. So I actually think I agree with you. I think blue's in the best. I think blue's in the best position overall.
Yeah. But the juniors are doing very well.
In general,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're doing fantastic. I think there's some great.
Yeah, because some years it's just like really young. Like when I played Settlers of Catan, there was like a 6-year-old playing. Yeah.
Excellent to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even if they don't end up doing very well, it's excellent to see people like that giving it a go. Even when you didn't do so well at Lost Cities, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did because I got to learn the game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And people, I mean, I've chatted to people outside the event, but are people really friendly when they're playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I think the sportsmanship is great. I think people are being very friendly. So green is making a attempt to get round red. I imagine red on red's turn will try and block green. And I imagine green played that piece because it's a 5-piece, and green's trying to play as many of their 5s before they struggle that they can. If I was red, you've got 2 options, I think. You can try and squeeze past yellow at the bottom on the left, or you can block green. I know what you'd pick. Would you block green, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would, yeah. I don't want to play against you.
Yeah, when I was like I think around 7, my sister was like, my older sister was still living in our house because she's at university now. When like she was like, I don't remember, like 14, 15, something like that. And this was like her favorite game, and every night she'd take it out of like the cupboard and be like, let's play this, and then we were like, no, please no.
Was she good at it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she does maths at university.
All
so
the cool people do. Why are you laughing? That wasn't a joke. No, so I think it's great. I mean, do you play a lot of games as a family at home then?
Yeah, we do. My dad orders a lot of games. We've got a whole cupboard full of
I'm going to ask a question now. How many games has he got that he hasn't played yet?
I think we've all played all of them. It's
Okay.
just that some of them we haven't played in like years.
Okay. I sadly own a lot of games that I haven't actually played yet, so I need to get around to doing that.
Yeah.
It's just a habit of mine. So I don't like what red's done. Can you see what red did there? I would have tried to get round as red. I would have tried to get round that green piece just so you have a bit more space to play into. But what red has done is red has guarded the space underneath, so red has got a bit of space to play into that at the moment only red can get to. So I think yellow played the T at the bottom, is that right? I think it's now blue's turn. No, that's not right, it is yellow's turn still.
Yeah. Well, this game could either be really long or really short.
Does
It's
it depend on how nice people are, or does it depend on how fast people play?
I guess both.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's better to play with strangers than with people that you actually know.
Is that because people you know are going to be meaner to you?
Both. It could actually be both. It's either they could be really mean to you, or they could be so nice they're kind of pressuring you to being nice to them. If you know what I mean. It's like, as Settlers of Catan, sometimes when I play with my friends, they're like, when the robber comes, they're like, oh yeah, let's just put it in a place where like nobody can reach it.
Oh,
like,
isn't that nice?
yeah, and I want to put it like in a place where, well, I want to put it in a place, but then it's kind of like pressuring me to be nice. Because like sometimes people can get very offended in board games.
They can, yeah. I actually think board games are, we were chatting about this earlier, really good to allow people to practice losing. Because in life, you don't want to lose on sports day. You don't want to do badly at a test or anything. So you don't want to lose, but there's no consequence to losing at board games.
Yeah.
Like, the consequences of doing badly at other things, but there's no consequences to losing board games. So if I play a board game with people and I lose, well, generally I'm thinking about what could I have done to do better, and then you're improving yourself, aren't you? So like you last year, you played Lost Cities, didn't do so well at it, but now you're going to come back this year and you're going to do even better, aren't you?
Yeah.
So on Green's go, do we think Green's losing?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think Green's losing, yeah. So Green has a bit of space to play, but what Green has to do to get into the space is Green has to play a smaller piece than 5. So that gets Green into some space. Red can block it.
Yeah.
In fact, red, if you just kind of stand back from the board, it doesn't look like red's got very far at all, does it?
Yeah.
So as red, I don't think I'd block it. As red, I think I'd try and get into some space. The piece that red has at the top on the left, the L shape, I think it can play into the gap of green. I think it can go up there or up there. Into the gap of green, either facing to the right, facing to the left, and get into some space. I think that's probably what I'd do, because I don't think blue and yellow are going to let you through to the left.
Yeah. Yeah, blue's pretty ruthless in this game.
Yeah, I think blue's. Do you think blue's winning? I
Yeah.
think blue's winning. Yeah.
Well, yellow's not doing, but like yellow was first blocked by everybody now. But now it's like, worming
Yeah.
its way out of it.
Well, yellow is James Heppel, and James Heppel is we can see in the blockers notes that we've got, he's the 2-time defending champion. He's won it the last 2 years in a row. More importantly, he actually won the Pentamind championship last year, so he's defending Pentamind champion. He's on the leaderboard. I think he's in 3rd place overall. So James Heppel is a very good games player. I think he prefers his what are called Euro games to his to like 1v1 abstract. So we're playing like I don't know how many. I mean, I've not seen him play chess or Boku or Abalone and some of the other ones. I'm not sure how many of these you know actually. So we can see James with his back to us there. We've got Victor on the right there. He is a junior, I believe, still. He doesn't look as young as some of the other people in the room. And we've got the Korean youngster. Apologies, Victor. Yeah, Victor is on the right. We've got the Korean youngster, Yun Lee. He's not doing so well in this game, unfortunately, but he has got 5 points out of 8 so far, so he's not doing too badly overall. We've got Visala Bodu, who is also undefeated. So Visala and James, we think, are doing the best. Although we both think blue's winning.
Yeah. Every year, I don't really see that many new people. It's usually a lot of the same people.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. You've got some friends that play games with you.
Yeah.
What would make them come down to something like this?
Well, a couple of friends were actually planning to come, but they were away at that time.
That's a shame because it's summer holidays now. I guess they must be on chipping away somewhere. Yeah, I mean, having seen it, I didn't realise how much fun I think I'd find it. I thought it would be a lot more serious than it is. Now, I'm not saying it's not serious. I'm thinking it's actually quite a good competition to be in. But I actually thought it would be, full of, people who just wanted to do things in quiet and wanted to have a go. But it's great. There's a lot of people to chat to, and there's lots of people from other countries as well, isn't there?
Yeah. Do people come here to play this from other countries, or do they?
They definitely do, yeah. So there's Paco has brought some people from the Canary Islands in Spain, the people he kind of trains with and kind of plays games with. The Estonians have brought quite a big contingent from Estonia. We've got, if you look at the leaderboard of people, we've got Andres Kusk and Martin, who are winning and doing very well. And we've also got Marcus as well, who is one of the leading 2 juniors at the moment, and they're from Estonia. I think it's great to see lots of people from different places. It's just a shame that, given it's in the middle of London, not too many people from London have, I don't know how many people are here altogether, but we can hope maybe next year this filming, our expert commentary, should bring more people.
Yeah. I think next year I'm going to play a lot more games. I'm going to try to, learn some more games, and then.
Would you play this? Would you play this next year?
I think so. Yeah.
Then who'd join me in commentary?
Yeah.
So I think we're looking at Yun Lee. He's struggling. He's not. So this is what he tried to do last time. He played the 3-piece down the bottom and got blocked in by red. He's played the 2-piece up the top. I wonder if blue's going to try and block him in there. Because blue and yellow, I think, are going to kind of block red and green out of it and then just fight for their own area at the end of the game.
Yeah. Well, yellow and blue haven't really advanced into that area that much.
No, it looks... So when you're looking at the situations, we were chatting earlier about having the most space to go into at the end of the game. And I think yellow and blue have done a good job of keeping green and red out of their half or their quarter of the board.
Yeah, it's kind of like yellow and blue are kind of working together, but at the same time not.
Yeah, so not there. That is a bit of a block on blue. A block, blue can go around if they need to. But if I was... Blue can't stop... You know at the top where green's trying to sneak into blue's bit? Blue can't really stop that. And blue can't go there, that's illegal. Blue can't really stop that. So the bit where green played their two-piece, green can try and sneak into that gap. But unless blue plays their one-piece, blue can't actually stop green getting in. So green might have a bit more to play for. I wonder if green will play their like plus shape next in that gap.
Yeah, they're starting to kind of go into that area now.
Yeah, they might have to. Yellow's actually not got many other places to go.
Yeah.
And blue is thinking, what blue is trying to do is blue is trying to get into red and yellow section at the bottom. So blue tried to place a piece that wouldn't fit, they placed it wrong, so that's okay, that does fit. Now yellow might on their next go try and block blue coming through.
Yeah.
Or red might do the same thing. Red might kind of play a piece over there to stop blue coming through, because if blue can get into that bit, then I think blue would be favourite.
Yeah. It's actually a very interesting game. It kind of reminds me of, I'm not really sure what the game is called. It's like the one where you're trying to fill in like a block, and then if you get like one thing, it like disappears.
Tetris.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I know, like I know it's not the same thing, but because I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of it.
Yeah. So what basically Tetris uses? Do you know why it's called Tetris?
No.
So Tetris, it's called Tetris because tetra is Latin for four, and what the pieces Tetris uses in Tetris is they're called tetrominos. Okay, so a piece with 2 bits is called a domino, which you'll have heard of before. Yeah. A piece with 3 bits is called a triomino. A piece with 4 bits is called a tetromino, and a piece with 5 bits is called a pentomino. So you've got these different pieces. I can't remember what the single piece is called. I think it's monimo, maybe. I don't know. Nomino?
Something like that.
Something like that. And so Tetris only uses pieces with 4 blocks. So all the Tetris pieces you see in the game of Tetris are all in this as well. So every piece with 4 pieces in, every block with 4 pieces in is a Tetris piece.
Oh, cool.
So green has played on the top right, played one of the 5 pieces before red blocks it. So green has got that out of the way. We think the bit, you know, where green played at the top with their 2-piece.
Yeah.
We think blue is not going to waste time blocking green getting into that bit. So I think green is trying to get as many of their big pieces out before they go down the top left there.
Cool. Green doesn't have very many places to go right now.
No, but I don't think they're going to fight about green. If I was one of the other colours, if I was blue, I wouldn't be worried about green. I don't think green's going to beat me. I think yellow might beat me, so I'd be fighting yellow more than green. So blue's got a couple of choices. I think, yeah, that's decent. Blue's given himself a bit of choice to potentially play down the bottom. Red's probably going to block some of it, and yellow might block some of the else. But blue can potentially either go to the right of the piece they've just played with a long piece, or to the left of the piece they've just played if red doesn't block it. So green isn't necessarily in the worst place in the world. Green has 2 places to go to now. They've just played their 3-piece, and they can go down and round, maybe. If they don't get blocked, can you see next to green's arm, there's a T piece. A big T with 5 spaces. They can actually put that in the gap that they've just got into. So they'll be trying to do that, I think.
Yeah.
Now, if you were red, where would you go now?
I guess you could kind of go into here in the green.
Can anyone stop you doing that? You know, you're talking about the top right, aren't you?
Yeah.
So can anyone actually stop you taking those spaces?
Not really, no.
Yeah. So that's the sort of thing I might leave to the end.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
There's not that many places to go right now for reds.
No. So I might try and either block blue or yellow coming down the bottom left.
Over there.
The other thing you could play, you might be able to play a smaller piece near the yellow piece on the bottom right. But I think I'd do that first, and I think I'd stop blue using some of my space.
I think yellow's doing very good right now, actually.
Yeah, well, James, like you say, James is the 2-time defending champion.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing better right now. Yellow
or blue.
I
think I like blue still. Blue's got a bit of space, and green at the top. Green at the top right can't go anywhere there because every single piece they'll play will kind of be illegal. So blue and red can go into that. So blue and red have got a bit of that space. I don't think yellow's got as much to move into. I think red's blocked yellow off quite well. I think green's blocked yellow off quite well.
Yeah.
So apart from the space in the top left, which yellow and blue can both get to, I think
Yeah.
that's a good move from red. Blocking yellow in and blocking blue getting through as well.
Yeah, pretty much everybody on this table is very good at this game.
Do you think they beat you?
Yeah.
All right. You're very honest. Well done.
Yeah, well, I only just started playing the game yesterday, so
You said you played before, just not for a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I basically forgot.
All right. If you had chance to comment on something else this week, what would you pick? That you're not playing, and obviously you can't comment on things you're playing.
Probably Rumicube.
Rumicube, but aren't you playing in that? Are you?
I am, but if I wasn't, I would. Because I don't know any really other games
Okay.
that have already haven't been played. But I think I would commentate Rumicube if I wasn't playing it, because I would, like, if I could see the everybody's like numbers, I could like figure out questions for them. I don't know. Yeah, but I think that I don't think I'd like to commentate Lost Cities though.
Okay. So on the bottom right, they played a yellow piece there, and they played that to stop green playing the T. Remember we said green could play the T.
Yeah.
Yet they put the yellow piece in the way, so green can't do that anymore. So although they're not doing it to pick on green, he's doing it just because if he doesn't, he won't get to play it.
Yeah.
So I think we're waiting on green now. Green's been done in. So green's still got that bit at the top left to move into, but he hasn't got much else.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should probably place that. It gives him a bit more space to play into. He can play that the wiggly 4-piece. I don't know what sort of shape would that be, like an S or a Z?
Don't know.
But he can't now because
Kind
Red's...
of like a lightning bolt.
He can't now because Red's just placed a piece in there to stop him doing that.
Yeah.
But I think Red's in trouble as well. Red's not got many places to go apart from the top right. So Victor is struggling. Victor, I don't think is anywhere that Victor can place their long 5-piece. Can you see anywhere?
Don't think so.
No. So that's 5 points that Victor's going to score. And remember, you're trying to score the lowest you can.
Yeah.
Victor's got a bit of space to move into at the top. And James, I think James is now restricted to the left-hand side only, apart from James can technically get through the right-hand side where Red is. And no one else. Green can as well. Green's used their 2-piece, so only Green's got the 1-piece to get into that space. So I wonder if it was correct for James to play his 1-piece into this gap on the right-hand side, just so he can get into Red's section before Green does. Because if Green gets in there first, Green might block some of the spaces up.
I wonder if anybody's ever finished all their pieces.
You can finish all your pieces. Now, when you're playing against good people, you're probably not going to do that because they're going to block you a bit better. But when you're playing, if you were playing for a much more casual game where you're just kind of playing light-hearted, you can get rid of all your pieces. And if you get rid of your single piece last, you beat someone else that gets rid of all their pieces. So if you can use your very single piece, the last, you will score a better score even though you've got rid of all your pieces.
Yeah.
So that's a good move from Blue. You can see that Blue has played it in such a way to block a lot of Yellow's bits off.
Yeah.
So, when you said earlier about playing it in such a way that you save space, you said your friends were playing, where they can turn it around and save space.
Yeah.
In this particular case, Blue hasn't really saved much space there, but they've done it in such a way to block Yellow.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think it's Green now. What would you do as Green?
Well, Green doesn't have very many places to go. I guess you could go here.
That's at the top left, next to the 2-piece.
Yeah.
Which piece would you put in that gap, do you think?
Maybe the cross.
The
The
plus.
yeah, the plus.
Okay, he's done something else. Maybe he's got a plan. Maybe he's planned like 2 turns ahead or 3 turns ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, the other potential for Green to go, Green could have placed their single piece in the bottom right next to the 3 piece and tried to get into this gap before Yellow does.
Yeah.
But carry on.
But I think from when Green was blocked, it's actually improved quite a lot.
I think so, yeah. I think Green has used their 2 piece and their 3 piece quite well just to get a few more pieces out on the board. Red can't place their 5 piece, so Red's definitely going to score 5 points. Do you think Red can place their plus either? I can't. Can you see anywhere?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't really have many places.
Red can only really go in the top left. Sorry, apologies, the top right.
Yeah. Yeah, because the kind of the piece that goes up and sideways,
so 3 up and sideways,
yeah,
like a knight in chess.
Yeah, fits perfectly into the.
It does, and then if you do that to the right of it, you can play the 4 squares in a block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I imagine that's what Red's doing. They're probably just looking to see if there's anywhere else they can go, and they've still got their single piece left, so they can maybe play their single piece to the above that to the left, just to get into that space a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good move.
It is, because earlier when we said edge to edge doesn't block each other.
Yeah.
So they haven't blocked each other, which means that Yellow can get past Blue whatever Blue does next.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. Green and Red don't have many places to go, but Yellow and Blue save that space so that they can.
I think they did very well. I actually think that Yellow can potentially maybe even get to the top, where there's a bit of space between Green and Blue. Although I imagine Green's going to stop that. I imagine Green's going to place some of their pieces in that gap on their next turn.
Yeah. They filled up a lot of the board now.
They have done, yeah. Each player's got several moves left they can make. It felt like Blue was doing very well earlier, but Blue might be slowed down a bit now.
Yeah.
Although I actually think Red might lose. I actually think Red's not got many places he can go at all.
Yeah.
I think, can you see Red's pushed 2 pieces above the rest of their pieces? I think that means that he doesn't think he can place either, which means he's going to score 10 points.
Yeah. But Blue doesn't have very many pieces left.
They must all have the same number. They must all have 6 or 7 left. They must have 7. Blue must have 7 pieces left, mustn't they? Yeah, they were hiding them with a hand. So that stops Yellow getting to the top where Green is.
Yeah.
But Yellow, if you have a look at Yellow's remaining pieces, Yellow's only got 1 5-piece left.
Yeah.
Whereas it looks like everyone else has got at least 2. I mean, Green's got 3. But I think Green can probably play.
Blue doesn't have that many places to go now.
No, I think Blue's blocked in a bit.
Yeah.
Blue's only got 1 5-piece left as well. So who do you think's in best position now?
It's hard to say. I think now Blue or Yellow, possibly Green, because they could kind of build from the middle of the top.
Yeah.
Through like the Blue and Yellow.
They can, but if you look at the pieces they've got left, they can't play any of their 5s.
Yeah.
Only they can play the T.
Yeah, they can.
So they can play the T. So I imagine he might play the T now just to get 5. But the problem with playing the T, it means he can't go left anymore. If you played the T.
Yeah. But right now, not anyone is in a good position.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think Green, I think at the moment, if you just count the pieces they've got left, I think Green might be losing.
Yeah.
I think they've got the most individual squares left. I mean, if you look at Yellow, they still get their 1 piece, their 2 piece, and 1 of their 3 pieces.
Yeah, and Red can only place its smaller pieces now.
Yeah, so I think Red can't. You see? Do you know where can you see Red at the top where they've got their L shape, their knight in chess? If they play their single piece at the top, Blue's just going to fill that gap. So Red can't go into the gap to the right. So Red can get the gap at the top and the gap to the right-hand side with their 4-piece, which is probably what they're doing now. So I actually think red might lose, but green's not doing so good. So I agree with you. I still think it's blue or yellow.
I think the game's probably going to end pretty soon.
Yeah.
Not that many pieces left to play.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah.
Good. It's nice to have you here. It's nice to chat to different people.
Yeah, it's more interesting than I thought it would be, actually.
What's nice about this is that the turns aren't too long, so we can kind of guess what they're going to do whilst they're thinking. But they're clearly going to think more than we are because it's more serious for them. And it's really easy to see kind of what options they have available because of how many pieces we've got left.
Yeah. So, yellow and blue have some more places to go, but basically green and red are blocked in. They barely have anything.
I don't think green can still place their single piece to the far left.
Yeah.
And get into a bit of a gap. Maybe they can get one of their 5 pieces out.
Yeah.
But green's not doing so well. I think red can only place their single piece now. Is it green's turn? I think it's green's turn, isn't it? So we'll see what they can do. The other potential is green can place their single piece near their 3-piece at the bottom right and get into a bit of space that way. But again, none of their 5 pieces will go into that gap, so that's probably not actually that useful. They can get rid of the 4-piece. They've got a T-shaped 4-piece there that can get into that gap. So maybe they just do that. Maybe they play the single piece and the T-piece, but they can play the T-shaped 4-piece in the top left as well. So I think green's going to score all the pieces that aren't those two on the right, which would be 19, which would not be a good score. Can you see where else red can go then? You can see what pieces red's got left.
I think it can only now really go with the 3, the 2 and the 1 piece.
Okay.
Not really anything else.
So they're going to play their 1 piece now, are they? I think actually they might struggle to get their 3 and 2 piece out, but they can get their 4 piece out, can't they, near the top? It's a perfect shape at the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think now blue will block the space red can go into on the left.
Yeah.
Because this was really weird at the start, wasn't it? We were watching it and we were thinking on yellow's turn, everyone went block yellow, block yellow, block yellow.
Yeah.
So I think yellow's done very well to have a chance of winning this still.
Yeah, it was kind of at the beginning. So blue was doing the best at the beginning. And I think blue's still doing the best now.
Okay.
I'm
going to go yellow, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of green and yellow being blocked, and then mostly yellow though, and the red wasn't really being blocked that much. Red was yellow blocking everything.
Red was doing the blocking, wasn't it?
Yeah, and now red is the one being blocked.
Yeah. If you block other people in this game, you kind of block yourself as well a bit sometimes, because if your corner blocks theirs, then their corner blocks yours.
Yeah. Well, you do need to sacrifice in this game.
Yeah. I agree. So, I actually think James can get rid of 2 pieces. I think he can get rid of the one he's touching now. And then I think he can play a 4-piece down the side.
Yeah, but basically most of them can only play their smaller pieces now.
Yeah, I think green's actually done. I don't think green can go anymore, so I think green's going to score 19. So we'll see what happens on green's turn. I think they're going to be passing, which means they're going to score 19. We can see blue can fit in that gap, and blue's got 3 pieces left. Can blue play any of those pieces? Yes, blue can play the 3-piece, can't he? Kashi at the top.
Yeah. I think that's the only one though, really.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yellow. I think blue can play the 3-piece. Green. Did you notice green didn't go there? So green's passed. So green scored 19.
can red
And
go anymore?
blue
Yeah.
is angrily tapping their piece because blue realises that blue is going to lose by 1 point. If you count blue's pieces, blue scored 9. I think everyone's passed.
So, who's won then?
I believe so. Yellow's got, I think that's 8. Blue's got 9. Green's got 19. And red has got 13. So I think James has won. I think.
Oh, I really thought blue would win.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
close, wasn't it? They did first and second, so we were kind of right throughout the
Yeah, it was
start.
very close.
I think now what they're talking about, we can't quite hear them. But I think they're talking about how they could have stopped each other.
Yeah. I thought he put one dot here or here.
And they're talking about how they could have blocked each other.
Block you. I made you.
He doesn't gain anything. Are we draw?
Yeah, but they both played very well.
I can
No,
put.
Olive
I put.
has in third position.
Yeah, I'll put my.
Can play.
I'll put my 2 here.
So this is great. So this is a potential issue with the game that you can be done in by other people. Only because they, if it's my turn, I can either block you or block. If I can either block you or block your dad, maybe, and I block your dad, then you benefit. So they're talking about this here. They're talking about a lot of what ifs. But the final score from this game is James is going to score 8. I can't remember the names. Apologies. Vital is going to score 9. The junior, Visala, thank you. Yun Lee, the junior, is going to score 19. He did get blocked in quite a lot.
Yeah.
And Victor H. Luis, the other junior, is going to score 13. So they're going to clear the board, they're going to report their scores.
I didn't expect you to.
We're going to have a quick look in a sec if there's a table 2. If the table 2 doesn't appear, then we are going to assume there are no more matches to follow. And what we're going to see, we're definitely going to see James Heppel again. We've seen the last 2 matches. He's currently undefeated. He has gone 3 from 3, so he's on 12 tournament points. And the overall winner will come from table 1 at the end of the game. It will be whoever wins table 1 usually, but it is actually the person with the most tournament points. So even if James doesn't win, he might still win the whole event. So because we haven't moved to table 2, I believe that is the end of our... no, we do have table 2 here. This is as best we can do. We don't quite know the players at the table. We're just going to keep on this for a couple of minutes and see what the conclusion of this is.
Well, here it looks like red's got quite a lot of space still to go.
I agree with that, yeah. And I don't think yellow can get in very easily. Blue can, though. Can you see blue's place their
Yeah.
single piece? So Matthew Hathwell, if we have a look, he came second last year, so he's a good block player. I believe he's the other person on 8 points, so he is currently on 8. If he wins this, he'll be on 12 tie with James, and then whoever would do best out of those 2 might win the gold. David Pearce, do you remember him? He's the overall medals leader, 157. I had a chat with David earlier. He's a really nice man. He taught me some tips for acquire and what to do and what not to do. When I was filming that earlier. We've got Noah M. Conception. She is a junior. She had an interview with Paco earlier in the week. She is generally, I believe she was doing quite well in the standings from memory. She's got about 5 or 6 points. And then Florian Germain, I don't quite know Florian yet, but Florian is playing red, and we've said the red's got a lot of space to move into.
Yeah. Looks like green's pretty blocked up.
Yeah, can we see, let's have a look, can we see for anywhere that green can go? It's hard to know what pieces green's got left, but I think I can only see 2 places. Can you see any? Green can go.
Yeah, I can see a few places.
Yeah, so there's a place on the top left from where we're looking, where there's a 3 long piece. And there's a single green piece. But it's hard to know what pieces have got left, so whether they can actually fit the pieces in the places where they can go. Either that's David's last move, or he's got a 3-piece that will fit in that gap, and maybe he can get out a bit. It looks like this is close to the end of the game because they're placing in places that are not very kind of forward moving.
Yeah.
So I imagine we're close to the end of the game.
I think blue's done pretty well, actually.
It looks like blue's expanded quite far.
Yeah.
Blue started in the top left and has moved all the way around. So Matthew Hathwell again is second place last year to James. And and he does well in the pantomime in general. I've seen him in a few events this week so far.
Ah. So it looks like the person with the, I think, yeah, so Noah has like the least squares, I think,
Yeah.
because she's already put in all her like 5
She's
piece
got all
and
5, so
4
that's pretty good. And she's still got a bit of space to move into in the yellow section.
piece. Yeah.
Maybe. Actually, she hasn't got a 3-piece left, has she?
No.
So I'm not sure she can get into the gap, you know, the big gap on the left-hand side. But Matthew can.
Yeah, Matthew hasn't got that many pieces left.
No. So I think what we'll see now is Matthew moving into the space on the left, in the middle, a big gap that we can see. And by doing that, he's also going to get the gap on the right of that red long piece. He's just working out which piece he can afford to place there, I think. Yeah, so now Matthew's got 2 places to move into. He's got the place to the right of the piece he just played, but yellow's blocked that. And he's got the place to the left, which I imagine red's going to block that about now. If red's got a piece that can do that, it's hard to know what pieces the people have got left. But Noah, you said Noah didn't have any 5 pieces left.
Yeah. Noah's used all her 5 pieces.
So it looks like Noah's score is currently 11, and Noah's just having a quick look round to see if she can place anything else.
But altogether, Noah has 1, 2, 3, 11.
11. How many has Florian got?
8.
And Florian's just demonstrated that Florian can place nearest to us in the middle behind those 2 blue bits. So Matthew's just played. Matthew's not done that great, I don't think.
I think Florian is going to win.
I think Florian probably has one.
Oh, yeah.
David's got a piece to place. I think this is his last piece, a 2-piece. Can he place a 3-piece? Oh, he can place a 3-piece. He can place a 3-piece over here. And he kept that because no one else could do it. And then Noah's possibly going to have to pass here. Oh no, place a single piece, and Noah's going to finish with 10, we think, because we counted 11 earlier. I think Florian is going to place nearest to us where those blue pieces are with an L shape.
Yeah.
And then it might be pass, pass, pass. No, David got in place his last 2 pieces. Matthew's passed. So Matthew hasn't done very well there, I don't think. Matthew scored 14. He might actually lose the whole board.
Yeah, so it's only Florian and David playing right now. Noah's done, isn't she?
Yeah, I think Noah passed. I think everyone's passing. And I think Florian's actually got a single piece left if he can place that anywhere. So I think he can place it. Yeah, he can place it in the top left if he needs to. Oh no. She goes there. So she's scored 8, we think. It was 11. She's played a 1 and a 2.
So yeah, 8 probably.
Yeah, so we're going to have a quick look. If we can zoom out a bit to see the final scores, that would be lovely. So David Pearce, if we can just zoom out a bit, that would be lovely, just so we can see what the scores are. So David Pearce has got 9, Noah we think's got 8, Florian has won with 3, and Matthew, who was undefeated, has been defeated into last place with what looks like 14.
Are they finished?
I believe they're finished.
Yeah.
It looks like, well, Matthew's left the table. David can't place any of those pieces, so well done Florian for winning that. Noah for coming second, so Noah might even make an appearance on the final table because we knew Noah was actually on the leaderboard after 2 matches. So Noah after 3 will have done decent. She will have another 2 points, although it might not be enough. David Pearce is sadly unlikely to add to his medals this year. He gets 3rd place there, so he only gets 1 tournament point.
Yeah.
And Florian we might see again if he's done well enough to reach final table. Alright. So we are going to find the standings as soon as we can. It looks like that was the last table to finish. They're crowding around the board. We're going to get those standings. We're going to have a look at the Pentamind in a bit. We're going to get Paco back. Yuli, I will thank you very much for joining me.
Thank
I
you.
want to shake your hand, and hopefully I will get to see you later this week. Maybe even commentate on something you're playing in.
Yeah.
And if I see you in the corridor, we'll have a little chat at how you're doing, if that's perfect. Have you had a good time?
Yeah, I've had a great time, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. It's nice to have different people to chat to.
Yeah.
And not saying Paco's awful, but obviously we get a different kind of repertoire going. So they're just looking at the results. They're putting the results into the computer. We're going to get those results for you as soon as we can. We're going to go to a commercial for a bit, if that's possible, just so we can kind of get ourselves sat down, watered, and be ready for the final, where we're going to give out a gold, silver, and bronze medal for you right to your computer.
Hi viewers, let's talk about Pandora's easiest way to invest, the Go and Grow. Go and Grow is an incredibly simple and automated service that allows you to earn 6.75% per annum and take your cash out at any time. Here are some benefits. It has a yield of 6.75, helping you to plan for the future. You can access your cash without any excessive withdrawal penalties. You also get a diversified portfolio of investments supported by advanced and reliable technology. And you only pay tax when you make a withdrawal over your capital amount invested. That's not all, there's more. You can share access with the people you trust to invest together for a shared goal, like an upcoming world trip or a wedding. And if you are already a Pandora investor, you can transfer your existing Pandora investment portfolio to Go and Grow with just a few clicks. Check for more info in the description box below and visit us on Facebook at Pandora Capital. Start today and make your dreams a reality with Go and Grow. Hi everyone! This time, we would like to give you an overview of what peer-to-peer lending at Pandora is all about. Compared to traditional bank credit models, peer-to-peer lending at Pandora makes you the bank, while our platform provides you the borrowers to lend to. So as an investor, you can generate profit from the interest paid by the borrowers, while the borrowers benefit from the quick access to loans they need. The concept of peer-to-peer lending is relatively new in the finance market and has grown rapidly in the last decade. So if you are new to peer-to-peer lending, would like to be an investor, you can visit our website at bondora.com for more information or check us out on Facebook at Pandora Capital. And that's it for today. Visit our website to start investing and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thanks for watching and bye for now. Hello and welcome to another weekly video from Pandora. A great question being asked by our investors from across the world is that why are we based in Tallinn? Tallinn is referred to as Europe's Silicon Valley and is a hub for innovative companies like Skype, TransferWise, Pipedrive, and of course Pandora, something not so commonly seen in a medieval capital city. Estonia hosts the NATO Cyber Defense Center and is also building a data embassy in Luxembourg, which will have the same right as regular embassy, but it is able to remotely reboot the country's IT systems in case of a cyber attack. So due to this level of cybersecurity, and since there are children being taught how to code in kindergarten, there is a wealth of tech talent, and this provides a great environment for us to thrive and achieve our goal of becoming Europe's #1 peer-to-peer lending platform. We hope this information helps you understand why we are based in Tallinn, Estonia, and be sure to leave a comment below as to what you want to see in the next week's video and how we can consistently improve your investing experience on Pandora platform. Thanks for watching, and until next week, keep investing and bye for now. Hello and welcome to another weekly video from Pandora. A great question being asked by our investors from across the world is that why are we based in Tallinn? Tallinn is referred to as Europe's Silicon Valley and it's a hub for innovative companies like Skype, TransferWise, Pipedrive, and of course Bondora, something not so commonly seen in a medieval capital city. Estonia hosts the NATO Cyber Defense Center and is also building a data embassy in Luxembourg, which will have the same rights as regular embassy, but it is able to remotely reboot the country's IT systems in case of a cyber attack. So due to this level of cybersecurity, and since there are children being taught how to code in kindergarten, there is a wealth of tech talent, and this provides a great environment for us to thrive and achieve our goal of becoming Europe's #1 peer-to-peer lending platform. We hope this information helps you understand why we are based entirely in Estonia, and be sure to leave a comment below as to what you want to see in the next week's video and how we can consistently improve your investing experience on Bondora platform. Thanks for watching, and until next week, keep investing and bye for now. Hello and welcome to another weekly video from Bondora. A great question being asked by our investors from across the world is that why are we based in Tallinn? Tallinn is referred to as Europe's Silicon Valley, and it's a hub for innovative companies like Skype, TransferWise, Pipedrive, and of course Bondora, something not so commonly seen in a medieval capital city. Estonia hosts the NATO Cyber Defense Center and is also building a data embassy in Luxembourg, which will have the same rights as regular embassy, but it is able to remotely reboot the country's IT systems in case of a cyber attack. So due to this level of cybersecurity, and since there are children being taught how to code in kindergarten, there is a wealth of tech talent, and this provides a great environment for us to thrive and achieve our goal of becoming Europe's #1 peer-to-peer lending platform. We hope this information helps you understand why we are based entirely in Estonia, and be sure to leave a comment below as to what you want to see in the next week's video and how we can consistently improve your investing experience on Bondora platform. Thanks for watching, and until next week, keep investing and bye for now.
Welcome back to the World Mind Sports Olympiad here at London 2018. I'm joined by Andres Kusk. Welcome, Andres.
Hi.
Who is actually doing quite well in the Pentamind. We're going to have a look at the Pentamind at the end of the event. We're going to go back to the first table in Blockers. This is the last table of the event. The winner of the gold medal for this particular event will come from this table. We know that James Heppel is the only undefeated person left in the field, but we don't quite know the other players at the table, what score they're on. We'll get those standings to you as soon as we can. So we're just going to go to table 1 now, where I believe play has started. They're probably a few turns in. They've just got to the centre, and you can see James Heppel with his back to us there, bouncing happily. You've got Matthew Hathwell as well, sat next to him.
Yes,
is that correct?
And we have also Florian Chapman.
Florian Chapman and I've forgotten the name, Bottas? Valtteri Bottas?
No.
Vasala Bodu, so I apologise, I was naming a racing driver. Vasala Bodu, who was undefeated until she came second, a very close second to James in the last match. So here we go. We believe it must be Green's turn, so it's Florian's turn. I've not met Florian before. Is Florian a great all-round games player? Since you know his name?
Yes, he is mainly a Twixt player. I think he has won Twixt championships at least 5 years in a row now. But he plays quite well other games as well, and I think he stands at least in top 10 currently in the Pentamind standings.
Okay,
so he's doing well.
He's in the top 10 or close to it.
Yes.
In the standings. We're going to look at the Pentamind standings in a bit. We've got Andres with us because Paco is doing a few interviews, so Andres kindly stepped in, so thank you for doing that. And in a second we're just going to put the results on the screen currently. We can see Florian is blocking a yellow in straight away. James is the person to beat. He's the person in the lead of the event, so we're going to have a look at who is second, third and fourth going into this final decider. So we've got James leading on 12, Vasala, who James beat in the last match, on 10, Florian Germain, who won table 2 in the last match, on 10, and I believe at the other table we've got Matthew Hathwell, who had won 2 out of 2 and then lost the last match. Now, the way this works, the winner has to come from this table, doesn't it?
Yes, the winner definitely comes from
but
this
it's
table.
the winner is not necessarily the winner of this game. It is the person with the most tournament points.
Yes.
So you could find, for example, that Matthew wins the game.
Yes.
But if James gets 2 points, and Matthew can't catch him, can he? So James can still win.
So Matthew only can win if James Apple becomes last. This is the only way
correct, yeah.
for
So Matthew
to
can win if James comes last, and then Vasala and Florian will get 1 and 2 points, and then it will be a split tie, Matthew win and tie breaks. So if Matthew wins and James comes last, he wins. Otherwise, whoever wins out of the other 3 will win the event, I believe.
Yes.
The way the tie breaks work. Is there a chance that Noah or Emily can get a medal if they get 4 points? Yes, it is, isn't there? They could get 4 points. James could win, and then only Vasala or Florian would be on 12 as well.
Yes.
So Noah or Emily could win a medal if results go their way, but I think they need James to win the event.
Yes, yeah, it seems so. They might even get the silver, I think.
If they get 12.
Yes, if they get 12, and if James wins the final table.
And Matthew comes second.
And Matthew comes second.
Okay,
exactly.
so there's a chance for Noah or Emily to come second. We can look at table 2 once table 1's finished play, so we'll have a look at that. It does depend what happens at table 1, but definitely 2 medalists of the 3 medalists will come from the table we're looking at. James, Vasala, Florian and Matthew. Let's go back to them and see how they're doing. So I've had 2 different people alongside me commentating on Blockers today. I've had Paco, who gave me some insight, and I've had Yuli, who was great to chat to. I don't know if you've met her yet. She's
I have already met her.
So if I asked you what other strategies you'd bring to a Blockers table, what would you tell me?
I think if you already asked Paco, then you already know everything, because I believe he's one of the best Blockers players. Especially in the 2-player version. I'm not that sure about the 4-player version.
Well, the argument for a pro 2-player game is that in a 4-player game you can get blocked by 3 people in a row.
Yes, exactly. That's the trouble. That sometimes there's nothing to do.
It's not they're picking on you. It's just that it's best for them to block you. Each of them to block you.
Yes, it might be that for each of them it is actually the best move.
So they're not doing it to be vindictive or anything like that. So Matthew's done something we haven't seen yet. Matthew's kind of made it impossible almost for people to get through him.
Yes, I quite like this strategy, because I think he was the 4th player, and 4th player anyway has difficulties in spreading into the center that quickly as other players do. So I quite like this strategy as 4th player to block his territory.
Do you think he's going to go round green now? So Paco was talking, when he was talking about the tactics here, you're either attacking or defending. When you attack, you're trying to get into territory you can't currently get into, or when you're defending, you're trying to block them.
Yes.
But Paco was also talking about you generally try and block the person who's next to play. So if he basically says, let's say yellow has 2 choices. Yellow can either move towards red or move towards blue. If you block yellow towards you, then yellow is forced to move the other way. So that's Paco's reasoning behind it. So if you were Matthew, you could play a piece blocking the yellow piece furthest to the right and going round the green piece. That would stop yellow coming your way and maybe force yellow to go down past blue.
Okay, which in turn forces maybe blue to go to defensive.
Yeah, or play defensive and not kind of come into your territory. So that was Paco's reasoning. He basically says the people who deviate from that kind of give the advantage to the person after them. So if I deviate from that, I'm not picking on, if I'm going before you, if I don't pick on you, you get the advantage.
Yeah, this sounds like a really good idea here.
So that's blocking yellow, but not necessarily blocking green too much, because green can still get past. And now yellow can't go to the right, so I think yellow's either going to probably move around blue to try and get into the top, because yellow's already got access to the south and west of the board, or the bottom and left of the board.
Yes, he might try to go to the green territory, but this means that he just would need to use 2 square piece, which is probably too early.
Well, you can go to the left as well.
Yeah, so that's why he probably goes to the left.
He's always got that 2 score piece will always go there. Can't be blocked at the moment. Can't be blocked from going there, so that's fine. And so this will happen. So obviously James is the 2-time defending champion. James has won the last 2 Blockers championships here. Matthew came second last year, and Matthew won 4 years ago. So we've got a high standard of field. Emily, who's on table 2, Emily can still get a medal with a win, and Emily came second 2 years ago. So well done, Emily, still in with a chance here. The other players at the table haven't medalled in this event yet, as far as I can see, but there's definitely a chance here. I believe a second place for either Vasala or Florian, a second place or better, will get them a medal, because then they'll be on 12 points and no one from table 2 can overtake them.
Yes, 12 points definitely guarantees a medal.
For Salarov, well, for anyone, isn't it?
Yeah, for anyone.
Okay. So 12 is the points to get to. If even Matthew gets 12 points, he's guaranteed at least bronze, isn't he? If
Yes,
perfect,
yes,
and then it goes on tie breaks, isn't it? Or your score counts.
So James actually made the move that we thought. So he went to the left upper side.
And Blue's made an attacking move, trying to get into Red's territory. The problem is you can't go through Red, so if you want to get some of that Red territory now, you kind of have to go into it quickly.
Yes, I'm not sure that I like this Blue's move
no, because
a lot.
Red can just go round it, and then it's really difficult.
It can be easily blocked from down.
Yeah. So Red can place maybe the L shape, the 5-piece L shape, round the side of Blue, blocking Blue. That seems like a decent move for Red's next turn. Depends what Green does, but again, Blue didn't block Green, so Green in theory has a bit of space to move into here. Green has got a 5 shape as well, so Green has got a gap exactly 5 spaces big, and he's got the exact shape that fits into that gap.
Perfectly there. But maybe he doesn't need to play there right now even.
No one can block him from doing that, but if he wants to get into the territory at the bottom, he has to do it early rather than later. It also gets Green into the right hand side of the board a bit better.
So I think probably it makes sense to,
I think that's what I'd do.
To go there. Even though the alternative is just to block yellow from going into the upper side of the board. But he decided to make an attacking move.
Yeah, yellow's been blocked enough already, I think. I know you don't want to keep picking on the same person because it doesn't help you win because you're only picking on one person. You need to kind of spread the hate. And 2, if you're ever fighting in this game, you're generally fighting more with your neighbours than your opposite person. So generally, if I'm showing territory to the right with you and the left with Blue, am I not generally trying to block you from taking more of my territory than you are of mine?
Yes, it sounds wise on average.
I'm no expert in this game, I'm afraid, so I'm just theorising.
Yeah, it sounds like a valid argument to me.
So Red has not played the piece we thought they might play, but done what we thought they might do and blocked Blue. So Blue's finding it very difficult. Red, if you can see, is making it very hard for people to get into and through his territory. And I like your actual argument, the argument being that you're going fourth, you're going to be the last in the centre. So if you get there slower, you're less likely to be blocked. I like that argument.
Yes.
So Andrus, the Pentamine overall, then, how's it going for you?
It did not go that well for the first 2 days, but at least today I now finally got one first place in trench, so it's not that bad as it was previously, but I'm still quite way behind, I think, compared to Martin and
your compatriot.
Yes,
Martin.
compared to.
So Trench is a game that you have won the last 3 years. Have you won it every year it's been here? Because it's only been here 3 years now.
For 3 years, and I have won every year.
Have you lost a game yet?
I have not lost a game. I have made 2 draws, I think.
Okay.
But I haven't lost a game.
And so, if I can ask you, what didn't go so well the previous 2 days? Was there an event you thought you'd do well at that you underperformed in?
Actually, the first 2 days I did not have that many strong events, so I did not lose that many potentially good scores.
Okay, because you came second in Baku, but you rate Martin as a better player than you.
Yes, so this was kind of expected because I thought that second place, anything worse than second place definitely would have been useless, and it was quite difficult to get first, so this was kind of expected result, although I definitely hoped to be at least shared first.
Yeah, you were tied at 11-all at one point, weren't you? And then your young junior protege Marcus took a point off you, didn't he?
Yes, I managed to keep pace with Martin for quite a long time, but in the end he just had more gas left in the tank than I had.
So anyway, we see it's Florian's turn now. Florian is getting blocked in quite seriously here, so I think. Well, not quite. I mean, he can go down to the bottom here. He might have to do that before Red blocks him in that way as well. Do you think that he needs to try and...
Yes, probably. Okay, but he now made the defensive move. I actually like this move as well because now now yellow has some serious questions to ask.
Yeah, I think red's made a good move as well. So red has played defensively for like 4 or 5 turns in a row, and then all of a sudden has attacked into the space at the top. What you said, yellow has questions to ask. What do you mean?
Because he has now been blocked from going up, and he also doesn't have any good squares to go on the right side, so I don't really see how he can effectively spread even further, although he has quite a lot of room on the left side and also on the bottom side of the board, so maybe it's not that bad. But
so what we've seen so far is it's the people who can go into the space the latest do the best. So if we're looking at the space available, if you notice that most of the right-hand side has been squashed in. So there's not so much space to go on the right-hand side. So if you're aiming to play your last few moves on the right-hand side, you're probably going to run out of steam. So it's very important, I think, to try and get especially into that top section and the left section, which seem to be the biggest remaining sections.
Yes, that's true.
So red's trying to get through there. So on green's turn, I think it's quite important for green to stop red getting through at the top, potentially. The other possibility green could move into the right hand side, but at the moment the right hand side of the board can only be got to by green and red, so I don't think this is urgent. I think green needs to stop red getting past them at the top. Green's been blocked again. I think Florian's been blocked quite a lot in this game.
Yes.
And did you see what he did with his hands there?
Yeah, I think he was suggesting something that people are blocking him, quite often.
Which they are.
Yes, this is true.
And basically said, look at all my green pieces here. He waved his hand over the table.
Yes, I have nowhere to go. Why you are blocking me?
And look at all the space that James has. Now, James, again, is the two-time defending champion, and he is the only person who is undefeated today. If he gets 2 points, he might win. If he gets 4 points, he definitely will. If he gets 2 points, he might win, because if Matthew wins the game,
this would be enough.
It's actually bad for Matthew that green is being blocked in, because what green's forced to do is move into Matthew's space.
Yes, this is not good.
The only space that green can move into is space that Matthew either is in or wants to be in.
But green has found the possibility to go to the right side, but probably he is going to be blocked from there as well.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, all of this is just magnifying the chance that yellow will win. Although we think yellow isn't actually got many spaces to move into. Yellow's got the most space to play with.
Yes, that's true. So I think everybody else are hoping that blue is going to go to the yellow's territory and not trying to block green that much.
I think red has realised that green isn't going to go into the space at the top, because that would just kind of corner green off. So red hasn't moved into it just yet. Red has kind of attacked yellow's space here, which I quite like, because red's got two choices. Red can either go into the space above the piece they just played, or if that gets blocked, they can go down.
Yes, it can down. Yes, that's true.
So I like what Matthew's doing. Matthew, again, the only chance, and this is a bit weird for Matthew actually, the only chance for him to win gold is for James to come last. So I wonder why Matthew hasn't been attacking James. Maybe a strategic point of view that the only way for Matthew to win gold, if he's playing for the win, is to beat James. So maybe it's technically incorrect for Matthew to have gone north towards green rather than west towards James.
Yeah, this might be true. Even though it's not sure whether this gold in Blockus is the only thing that he wants. Maybe he just wants to maximize his chances to win a medal.
Okay. That is another possibility as well. So I know you care a lot about the Pentamind.
Yes.
Do you think people competing for the Pentamind care less about the medals?
Yes, definitely. I think all top players, the only thing they care about is Pentamind. They really don't care about anything else, basically.
What about if you're a top player like Vincent, who played Abalone? I assume he just came here to win Abalone and maybe play for a few events. I imagine he cares more about the Abalone medal than the Pentamind. Yeah,
because he doesn't really compete for the Pentamind at all. Okay. Don't think that he even gets 5 scores. There are these kind of exceptions, some specialists who only come for their favorite game and they basically don't play anything else.
See, if I came to this event, I would want to play in lots of different things. I'd want to play in things I wouldn't necessarily compete very well at. because if you're here for this sort of event, you'd want to play in as many things as you can, wouldn't you? I mean, that's just me. The event I would really have liked to play in that I've seen so far would be Boku. I think Boku and the Voyages of Marco Polo would be my two favourite events.
Yeah, Boku is a really nice game, but unless you play Martin Hõbemägi, I think after playing against him. Oh, this move.
Two turns in a row has blocked red in.
I don't really like this blue's move because he has absolutely nowhere to go.
And that benefits James again.
Yes.
Blue has not only stopped red getting through, but blue has not been able to advance the piece from the piece they played.
Exactly.
And if yellow can block some of the blue pieces at the top, yellow's going to have a lot of space left.
Exactly. This last move was strange one because it just didn't give any way for blue to go to continue going forward.
Now. So if you can see on the left hand side, at some point it might be nice to magnify that so we can get the names of the players at the table, but you can see on the left is table 2. Now there is a chance, there's various combinations of table 1 score with James and Florian and so on. The table 2 could provide a medalist as well. I think Noah can get a medal and Emily Watson can get a medal as well. So we're just going to zoom into table 2 if possible. Once we get their names, that'll jump up onto the screen for us, and we can see who's who in which corner. We can see red in the bottom left, blue in the top left, green in the top right, and yellow in the bottom right. And once we get which names in which possessions, so we can see that Emily and Noah can still get medals, can't they? I believe they were.
I don't know. Maybe David Pierce also can get. I don't remember how many points he had.
I don't believe David Pierce. I believe it was just Noah and Emily because Matthew was the other person on 8, but he's going to be paired up to the top table.
Okay, so these two are the only ones.
I believe so. So they can get a medal. So we're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to look at when it looks like this game is going to finish first. When it looks like this game is going to finish, we're going to zoom in. We're going to count the points, and we're going to see if Noah or Emily can win. They put themselves in a chance for a medal. So remember, Noah is blue and Emily is red.
But it seems already clear that Emily is not going to win this again because red is completely blocked off.
You think red's dead?
Yeah, red seems to be.
But Noah's doing quite well, isn't she?
Yeah, Noah is doing well, and also David Pierce seems to be doing well.
And again, like we were talking about earlier, the people moving into the space near the end of the game usually do the best, and the people moving into the space at the top are green and blue. So David and Noah, looks like it's between them. Like I say, we're going to go back to table 1. We're going to look at keep on that. When it looks like that game's finished, we're going to zoom in to that again, and we're going to see what the scores are, see if Noah's got a chance at a medal. But if we can go back to table 1 and have a look at the fight for potentially the gold and silver medals, that would be great. If we could go back to table 1, there we go. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So, not sure whose turn it is. What do you think of the state of play here? Who would you rate the favourite given the pieces as they are?
I think that I like yellow here or red. If red manages to somehow to sneeze into the left side, but probably this is not going to happen.
He can do it. There are ways for pieces he's got left to do it, but the chances of him getting in there and yellow not blocking him is pretty low.
That's true.
So he can do it. He can definitely place. He's got a 5-piece L shape that can go along and down to give him a place to move from where yellow can't block it. But yellow will definitely block the inside of yellow's own territory as soon as they can.
Yes, that's true. Maybe green also has some chances because he still can play a lot of moves on the right side, and he can maybe try somehow to to get some additional room on the left side as well.
So I think blue is in trouble because blue is defending on two fronts. Green is trying to steal some space at the top from blue, and yellow is trying to steal some space at the left-hand side from
yes,
blue.
I agree. Blue seems to be in trouble, but I think it's only her own fault because this was this one move that we didn't like, which she just basically blocked her own chances to spread.
Yeah, so that was the piece with 4 in a square and 1 sticking out on the left-hand side near the bottom. Yeah, I agree with that. So Matthew played a different piece than I thought he might, but he gives himself a chance a couple of pieces to get through that gap into yellow's territory. And I think for Matthew, again, it depends what he's aiming for the event. If he wants to win the event, he needs to attack James a bit more, I think, because I think James is probably the favourite technically here. James can still get into the red section at the bottom right by playing his 2-piece. And James can still get... I think James is probably going to place his 5-piece up near the top, though.
Yes, it definitely does not seem like James being last one, so Matthew is not going to win this event. Yeah,
and that kind of blocks blue a bit and blocks green a bit from getting through. Or green actually can still get through, can't? Oh no, he's still got that piece left. He's still got the C piece.
Does he? Yes, it does.
Which will fit perfectly in there. So green's still in with a chance of doing quite well. I think green's been aggressively blocked in, but he seems to have done okay. He seems to have come through it. Red and green haven't really fought for a while on the right-hand side of the board. Now, we've been told that the venue we're in is closing up soon, so hopefully we will have time to observe the end of this match. We've been given a time limit. If we get the end of the match, we don't quite get the standings of the Pentamine to you, they will be brought with you tomorrow. Just while we've got you here, if you are watching live, I'm just going to let you know what events we've got on tomorrow. We've got Mensa Connections. We'll start earlier than this, but the live stream will start at 12. Mensa Connections is also known as Ingenious. It's a Rainy Knizia game. It's very good, kind of like getting colours in a row game. Then at 4 o'clock we've got Corridor, which is kind of like you build your own labyrinth, try and get to the other side of the board before your opponent gets to yours. And that will start at 4 o'clock and that will be for 2 hours. And then finally we've got Aware, which is a Mancala based bead dropping game, which I played for the first time last week, and it looks really good. It looks really tactical, different sort of capturing mechanics to Mancala. So if you want to tune into that at 8 o'clock, be my guest. As for all the games, we do teach you the rules before the stream starts. So if you like the sound of any of those, you can pop along tomorrow. What have I missed as I've been talking? Anything interesting?
No, nothing really has been going on.
Whose turn are we at then?
It was blue who made the last move, so it's Florian's.
Yeah, so he played that piece.
Yes. Yeah. So Florian seems to be doing quite well.
So I think the way that the board's shaping up, it feels like that the empty space at the end of the game will be on the right-hand side. It will be between green and red.
Yes.
So there is a chance, if green can get a few more pieces out on the left-hand side of the board, there is a chance that green could still win this.
He has some chances, and maybe it is going to be between green and red, because yellow's options are about to...
Yeah, that's great. Yellow can place the 2-piece. You know, remember early on we said the 2-piece. Yes. I think yellow will do that at some point before red gets into that section. I think red's going to concentrate on the bottom, but yellow might have to block red coming in the bottom first. But the furthest most right piece for yellow, just above there, you can play a 2-piece and it gets you into the top section of the board. So yellow's still got opportunities that way.
So actually like green's chances, because yellow and red, they are about to clash with each other on both sides of the board, which means that they don't have that much attention to green.
So green can place to get through this gap on the left-hand side, green can place the shape that looks a bit like a Z, 2 by 2 in the gap, and then place a 2-piece.
Yes.
And that will get through into this gap potentially if blue doesn't block that hole. We'll see what happens on blue's next turn. If blue doesn't block that hole, maybe green can sneak into there.
Yes. The bad news for green is that blue does not have that many alternatives, because he has more or less nowhere to go. Although he might try to
Yeah.
gain some space on the lower part of the board, but he's about to. I mean, she's
she,
about
yeah.
to be blocked off.
That's not a block. Oh, it is.
It-
yes,
it
it is.
is,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it
is.
is
Yeah,
good.
sorry, I thought initially hadn't blocked it, but there's only the one piece that can go. So that's a good move by James. He effectively blocks Visala and leaves himself space to play.
But it leaves space open for green. I think green can actually place a lot of pieces on that left side of the board now.
Do
Okay,
you-
not that many, though.
No, but
Not
blue's
that
got
many,
blue's got
three
very
of
few
them.
options. So at some point, blue is going to place the
Yes,
two
that's
piece
true.
in this gap, I think, potentially. So that's desperation from blue, I think. Whenever you play,
Yes.
I mean, whoever plays their one piece early is
Yes.
desperate.
But this is good news for green, because now blue, I mean yellow probably needs to block blue once more, which gives one more tempo for green. Not sure how this can be used though.
So that is protecting more space from Matthew, while still giving himself some options. Matthew can still place pieces to the top left and top right of his long red piece.
So I believe that now James is going to block Visala even more and guarantee himself at least the third place on this final table.
But James is blocked in elsewhere, isn't he? He's not got many places he can squeeze into. I think Matthew's done very well here, actually.
Matthew is doing well, but it is actually in James' interest to help Florian, because I mean to help Matthew, because James wants Matthew
If
to win.
Matthew wins and James
Yes.
doesn't come last, he's in a very good
Yes,
place.
and he definitely does not come last.
I
So
think James needs to come second, though. If James comes third, he can't win the gold. Because one of Florian or
if Matthew wins the board, then
oh yes, yeah,
then
okay, yes.
I
that's
think
true.
this
You're
is
right.
this is
You are right. Sorry, my fault.
that's why I think actually James tries to help Matthew right now, and he's not
So
blocking him.
Do you think that's a detriment to a game with 4 players where James, so Matthew is helping James win? So if James plays easy on Matthew, James can win the event.
Yes, I think this is definitely what goes through James's head right now, and I actually think that he takes advantage of this. So, yeah, that's unfortunately or fortunately the way how
work,
this
yeah.
how things work. So
I think it's still be true in Settlers of Catan as well, won't it? You can make favourable trades with someone you want to beat someone else.
yes, that's true, and especially in this kind of meta gaming where everybody is thinking about the
Yeah,
pentamind.
but if everyone's doing it, then it's fair.
Yeah, it is. It is fair.
And to be fair, the fact that James, I believe we've got the names the wrong way around. Actually, they've been rotated. James is in the bottom left, I believe.
Oh,
So I think we've got those the wrong way around. So we know they're the wrong way around. So we'll ignore those for now. Matthew's definitely red. Or is he?
I'm not sure.
Can we just zoom out to make sure? Otherwise, we've been talking the whole game with the names in the wrong places. No, that's right. James is yellow. James is definitely yellow
James is
because he's sat next to the lady. isn't he?
Okay, so the initial names were correct.
So in Settlers of Catan you can make a favourable trade with
Yes, you can.
someone you can do it
Yes.
with. But everyone's got the same opportunities to do that. And the fact that James has won 3 games in a row means that he has the opportunity to do that. The fact that he's gone win means that he's the one in power where you can.
Exactly, and it's not true only for having this the standings of this particular game in mind, but also you can make decisions based on the pentamind standings.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was I think 2 or 3 years ago when Ankush and James both were in the final table of Blockus, and in a way for me it was bad news because both of them made final table, but on the other On the other hand, it was good news because both of them meant final table, and it was not hard to guess who is blocking who. So
They're going to be blocking each other.
so
aren't
they were blocking each other.
So that's different, isn't it? They're both fighting for.
Yes, and I think there is nothing wrong about it because you just maximize your own.
It's just game management, isn't
exactly.
it? Yeah.
This is just one game of the Pentamind, and you should have this kind of meta standings.
So if we
mind.
notice that James has put his 2 yellow piece in a place we didn't think he would do it, he's put it in the bottom near red. So he's trying to get into red space.
Let's see whether red can block him effectively from there. Actually, I think yellow can get quite many pieces into this right bottom side, because red cannot block him that effectively.
So that stops yellow going through, although no, it doesn't actually.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He did not have any good blocking moves actually. So yellow will get a couple of more pieces there.
Is blue over now? Is blue passing? I think blue's passing.
Yes, blue. Yeah, we are done with blue.
So Vasala is probably going to come last and sadly miss out on a medal. 10 points won't be enough because someone from table 2 is likely to have at least 11.
But everything else is still possible. All 3 players can win the game. Even James.
Matthew cannot now because Vasala's last.
Yeah, I mean he cannot win the blockus, but he can still win this game.
Obviously, Matthew came second in the Pentamind 4 years ago. So Matthew will be competing in the Pentamind. He's a good games player.
Yeah, he's really very strong player. And
so we've seen him a few times floating around near the final table of a few events. This is the first one he's made, so well done to Matthew. If he can come at least second, he will get a medal potentially. Because 12 points is worth a medal, and he's on 8, isn't he? He needs to win to get a medal.
Yeah, he needs to win to get the medal.
Now green is looking like green is almost done as well. Green has been blocked by blue on the left, so green didn't get the gap. Green can play round blue at the top, and green can play next to red on the right.
So actually green has quite many moves left.
But that's right. If green can't get into the space at the bottom, I'm afraid. But green can play the 3-piece there. Green's got quite a few moves left, assuming Matthew doesn't block it. Matthew could play his 3-piece to the bottom right and block green playing their 3-piece to the bottom right as well.
Yeah, this can be done. But anyway, green still have quite many moves left. On the upper left side, he can
go around blue, yeah.
Yes, and
with
and at least 2 pieces on the upper right side as well.
Yeah, I agree. Red can't go in anymore, so there's space on the upper right side.
Yes.
The big space on the upper right side, there is a big space that green can play from the top and the bottom from.
Red can do absolutely nothing about it, so.
You might be able to get 3 pieces in there. I think you can get the 2, the 3, and an L shape. I think you can get 3 pieces in that gap for green.
True.
So green's still with a chance. I imagine a second place finish for green will get green a medal. But as it stands, James needs to stop Florian winning to win the gold.
Yeah, that's true.
So if Florian doesn't win, then James will win the gold.
So James definitely tries to help Matthew winning this final board.
Yeah, so Matthew's got that piece. He's had that piece for a while. Green couldn't stop him going there really. Is James passing? No, James can't be passing.
He just played a 4.
Did
he? Down here I think.
Okay. So James can definitely get the L shape and the T shape out. He's got the L shape in his hand. He's ready to play that next turn, and the T shape. So James is going to score at least 7, maybe even lower. I think that might be all he can do, just in that bottom right corner.
Yeah, I can't see anything else.
So James is going to score 7. Visala is going to score, it looks about 20 there. And Matthew's still got 5 pieces left. So it's Matthew's turn, and Matthew's trying to work out can do. Oh wow, Matthew's in there, isn't he? I think Matthew might win this. I think Matthew can put the 3-piece here, the other 3-piece
Yes,
here.
it seems so.
I think Matthew can get all his pieces out.
Yes, it
Looking at the
seems
4 pieces he's got left, I think Matthew is going to win this. And sadly for Matthew, even despite winning the last match on table 1, it is not going to be enough for a medal.
But
No, there was a tie.
oh, they both managed actually.
And they both finished with their 1-piece, which means that one of them doesn't win.
Did they both finish?
They
with
both finished the
One
one
Piece?
piece.
The red certainly did, but
Green
as
finished with
well.
that one.
Okay.
So that is an out-and-out tie. So normally, if you finish with the 1-piece, you beat someone who doesn't in the rules.
Okay.
Which is it's a tie break. You get extra. Effectively, you score negative points or something. So we have a joint first between Florian and Matthew. James comes third with 1 point, and Itala comes.
This joint first, how many victory points they
It's
get?
3.5.
It's 3.5.
Apologies, 3.
3, okay.
3. So James
Gets 1 point, which
gets 1
means
point
that
at 13, which means that Florian wins the event because he's on 13 as well.
yes,
And it's a result of the better result in the final round is the second tiebreak.
okay.
So
it's
Florian
gold for
wins the
Florian.
gold, but James comes joint first. So for pentamine standings, which is a lot
Yeah.
more what he cares about.
Yes, it is huge for James
Just about.
and it is huge for Florian as well because Florian is also doing really well in the pantomime.
Yeah, that's excellent use of both of them. So come joint first, Florian and James. Well done, Florian and James. Well done, Matthew, for winning 2 boards and coming joint first there. But sadly, it is not enough for a medal. We're going to get the results to you as quick as we can, and then we're going to have to leave you, and leave you, and see you tomorrow. So we're going to put the results on the board right now, and have a look where people came. We're looking at the top 3 for the gold medals, and then tomorrow we'll have a closer look at the pentamine standings with that to go. So James and Florian come joint first. Noah and Matthew come joint third. Noah must have won the last match, I guess,
Yes,
or tied. No, must
yes.
have tied it.
Yeah, it was tied first.
Must have
it
tied,
seems,
yeah.
Because he was on 8 points.
Sadly, Matthew wins the bronze because he was playing the highest board in the last round. So Noah will come 4th here, but get some valuable pentamine points for the leading junior. Is Noah still a junior?
I think so. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure,
believe
but
so.
I think so. Yes.
So anyone there? Victor Hernandez-Luis is also a junior, fighting for the pentamine as well. And David Pearce is ever present in these lists, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's here from the very beginning.
Okay. So Visala had 2 tough matches there, coming just in a 7th place. There's a few ties there, but well done for Florian for winning the event. I believe on the tiebreaks we have. And well done for James for coming joint first and getting some pentamine points. Andres, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Cheers. I hope to see you at one of these final tables and different events as the week goes by.
Yeah, if I have 3 sessions, then surely I will
I
come.
see you on the screen.
Okay, on the
see you on
screen.
final table.
Yeah,
Sure.
hopefully tomorrow.
Okay, that's been admin Steve Rain. This has been Andres Kusk here at the World Mass Sports Olympiad 2018. Hopefully see you tomorrow for some more live streaming. See you later.
Goodbye.